It's a very windy day at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City as two teams that have been getting together since 1960 match up. The Kansas City Chiefs play host to the San Diego Chargers. And there is added importance to the game as the two teams come in tied for second of the AFC Western Division. And with a loss by Denver later today, one of the two could be tied for the division lead. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Kansas City, Missouri. I'm Joel Myers alongside Beasley Reese. And Beasley, the Chargers come in, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. They have dropped or taken 4 straight. The opposite direction for the Kansas City Chiefs. They have dropped 3 of their last 4. The two teams do have something in common, though. They are the top 2 teams in the AFC defensively.
That's very correct. San Diego is number 1. Kansas City is number 2. In fact, San Diego has the number 1 defensive unit in the National Football League when it comes to attacking the rush. And perhaps the spark of this football team is number 55, third-year man, Junior Seau, Mr. Emotion.
Chiefs were embarrassed in their last game, losing 27-3 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They want to get back to the basics now and get back to the ground game.
You know, that's what they do best is run the football. They will not do it with Barry Word today, though. He's out with a very sore ankle, so they will go with Christian Okoye. Fully dressed, he's 298 pounds of football player. A frightening sight coming through the line of scrimmage. He lost his starting position because of a holdout. A holdout gave Barry Ware the nod, so Christian Okoye is a starting caliber running back.
Nick Lowry's into it. We're underway. It's going to be taken by Ronnie Harmon from the 5-yard line. Took it away from Nate Lewis. Doesn't have much blocking, and he's on his way down outside of the 20-yard line, across the 21 at the 22, where San Diego will put it together offensively in an offense that's really been running on all 8, as they say, behind a big and a young offensive line. Courtney Hall, for example, he's only 24 years old, but he's already in his 4th year from Rice. David Richards, a huge one, better than 300 pounds, their right guard. And in the backfield, Stan Humphries. He's been on fire lately. Walker, the H-back Butts, the single set in their formation. Miller and Lewis, the wideouts, and Dwayne Young is the tight end in his 2nd year from Michigan State. First down from the 22 for San Diego. And Marian Butts getting his 2nd consecutive start, carries it for the first time today and doesn't get much, maybe a yard for most. He's in there due to the injury to Rod Bernstein, who was their starting backup for the first 6 games of the season. Defensively, it's a 43 now. They got away from what they call their Okie, their 34 front. It's a 43 front now. You're looking at the front 7 in a huge group. Smith with 8.5 sacks, one of the best in the AFC at getting to the quarterback. Also keep an eye on 58, the right outside linebacker, Derrick Thomas. He's got 6.5 sacks so far. And a couple of new safeties for the Chiefs this year in Bayless and Mincy. Their corners are Ross and Lewis. Plenty of experience there. 2nd and still close to 10. Butts, not much on the right side. The 24, and that is it. We figured it was going to be, as they say, Beasley, an old-fashioned smash-mouth game.
Smash-mouth is perfectly put. That's what you're going to see all day long, is people smashing into one another. They put big Dwayne Young in motion and allow Mr. Butts to simply pick the hole. But this time, Kansas City fills every crack.
So now it's going to be 3rd and long, the passing situation. 3rd and still close to 9. They'll send Miller over to the left side, Lewis over to the right side. Miller has been their hot receiver. He's averaging 6 catches a game over the last 4 after, as Neil Smith is jumping, he's complaining to the H-back on the right side, Derek Walker, moved.
Now this is something that Neil Smith does very well. He's done it the last couple of weeks. He'll line up and fake as if he's going to start, trying to get the lineman to move. Let's see if he did it.
Number 87 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Bernie Kukar, the referee.
You know, one of the reasons that Neil Smith is able to do this, left side of your screen, see him flinch, the offensive tackles are so afraid of getting back in position to block him, respecting his tremendous speed, that they jump off sides when he flinches like that.
So now the extra wide receiver comes in, Sean Jefferson. They go with 3 wideouts. Miller way out to the left. They double up on the right side. And Ronnie Harmon, their 3rd down specialist, is the only one in the backfield, and it's delayed for number 33. Forget it. Harmon on his way down short of the 20. 3 snaps in out. The Chiefs defense comes up big, their first challenge of the afternoon.
You know, Joel, you're talking about challenges. We've got a challenge coming up when it comes to returning punts today. It's going to be a lot of wind up there and very difficult to catch. Let's take a look at this Chiefs defense. Following the counter tray, little draw, but they pull the two backside linemen, and Kansas City is simply everywhere. That's a beautiful picture when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 red jerseys around the opponent.
Injured player down is their starting cornerback, Kevin Ross. He's in his 9th year from Temple. And check that, it's Dale Carter, number 34, not number 31, and he's the one who was ready to return the punt. He is their first man on punt return. So Carter, the rookie from Tennessee, the first-round draft choice, hurt.
Take a look at the right-hand side of your screen. You see number 34 coming in late, and really he's upended. You see him flipping over, landing on the shoulder, just simply caught in a lot of traffic, and instantly you see that he's in pain.
Well, J.J. Burden is their backup and bringing back punts, but they'd love to have Carter. In fact, in the first game of the season, it was between San Diego and Kansas City. It was a 24-10 win for the Chiefs on the home field of the Chargers. And Dale Carter, the first time he touched the ball as a pro, brought it back 46 yards for a touchdown against the special teams of San Diego.
There's a great look from the left-hand side of your screen. I really don't see any great punishing blow there, but he does fold over the top of the pile, and sometimes you get your body simply in a bad position. Looks like he's okay now.
Let's hear it for Dale Carter. John Kidd ready to punt it away.
This is
and
going
to be Burden back.
It's going to be a real challenge to catch these punts now. There's a lot of wind up there. It's a windy day. It's still, and then it blusters.
A low wobbler. Burden staying away from it. And it takes the Chiefs rolls. It's touched near the 39. So outstanding field position for the first drive of the day for Kansas City. After the 41-yard wobbler from the punter. And the offensive line, a huge one, and an experienced one, but one that got off to a slow start this year because most of them missed the preseason with injuries. Alt, Zott, Grunhard, Lutz, and Baldinger over on the right side. New quarterback after Steve DeBerg led this offense over the last few seasons. Dave Craig now with Okoye getting the start due to the injury to Barry Word. McNair, the other back, and a couple of new receivers too, and Fred Jones and Willie Davis, a former world leaguer. We'll talk about him in just a couple of minutes. Willie Davis is in motion. First down carry, forget it. Okoye barely back to the line, lost about a half yard.
And there's Junior Seau. We told you he was Mr. Emotion. He comes in, makes a good play, getting people pumped up right away. This guy is so fast. He's starting to read very quickly. In college, he was an outside linebacker. And, man, I tell you what, you don't read something any quicker than that. And then he gets up, getting his teammates pumped up and into the football game.
Seconds at a little more than 10 and back for the first time better than 4 weeks. Tim Barnett, the third-round pick last year, has been on injured reserve with an ankle injury. Setting up over to the right side. A big boost. They work out of the shotgun. McNair, their third down specialist, finds open field. He's got a first down in end zone. He's inside the 35, and it's a first down for the Chiefs at the 31.
Now, they study the film just like we've been studying the film. When they line up in this situation, everybody must know that the ball is going to number 48 either through a draw play or through a pass. Somehow, no one respects that strong tendency, a definite tendency, and allows this man to rumble for what was a fantastic first down.
McNair is their leading receiver coming in. That was 30 yards on that carry. They set up in their power formation. Single to each side. Okoye tries the left side against the #1 defense in the NFL against the run, and that's not bad. A little bit better than 4 on that first down from the 31. And we were talking about that defensive alignment. The front 7 for the San Diego Chargers. They are keyed by the young man we were talking about, Junior Seau. Their big sack man who had a couple last week. And a talkative one at that on the left end. Out of Pitt is Bert Grossman. And in the secondary, very quick and an experienced group as well with Gil Bert on the corner. But it's the first start of the season for Sean Van Horst. They may want to pick on number 25 before the day is over. Due to the injury to Tony Blaylock, he's got an ankle injury. He is out and on injured reserve. Second and a long 6, close to 7. Okoye again, banging his way inside the 25 to the 24. Short of the first down by 3.
And the Kansas City Chiefs put themselves through an extensive evaluation process, computerized evaluation during their bye week. And what they came up with is Martin Schottenheimer, looking at the numbers, says that they are more successful on the right side of the line, and they're more successful when they have a single back in the backfield and allow him to pick his hole. So there's Marty Schottenheimer. This guy is, he went through just a week of nothing but computerized stats to come up with the fact. And that's why you'll see a lot of runs, single back and to the right side of this line.
Third down. A long 3 at that. And Craig with his first pass of the day has a man wide open, and it's complete for a first down inside the 20 to Mike Dial, the former Raider. He's the best receiver among their tight ends. He's in his 3rd year from Texas A&M.
Mike Dial making a difficult catch there. Simply an outside release by the tight end. Finds a little seam against zone coverage. Drops on the inside. It's a difficult catch when you have to dive, and he's heads up enough to come up with it, jump up, and get the first down.
Same formation. Tight end on the left side this time. In fact, they go with the 2 tight end set. The single back is Okoye on 1st and 10 from the 18. That right side where they've had success doesn't produce a thing. Junior Seau in on the stop again. And when we talked to Bill Arnsparger about Junior Seau, he said, it's funny we're coming to Kansas City. And I'm talking about the defensive coordinator because he said, I saw a feature just recently on Bobby Bell, the former great of the Kansas City Chiefs. They talked about all the positions that Bell could play. He feels the same way about Junior Seau. He is that talented. He can play a lot of different positions, not only defensively, but offensively as well. The injury to the tight end, Jonathan Hayes, but Seau, he's everything defensively. He's quick enough, almost to the point where he's like a defensive back.
Once again, every time they've tried to use that tendency of doing some good business to the right side, Seau is simply, he recognizes it so quickly that he gets in and makes the play. That's the 3rd time to the right and the 3rd time that Junior Seau has made the play.
And he may be better suited for some teams on the outside, but as Junior told us yesterday, he's inside this year. He's not complaining because they've got good people on the outside. Leslie O'Neal, Bert Grossman, as Hayes is helped off the field, having problems with the right leg.
Seau told us that on the inside, the difference between inside and outside, on the outside, at least one side of your body is clear vision, nothing but field. From the inside, there are things flashing left and right, so it takes a while to learn to recognize and to make a quick movement from the inside, and he's certainly doing it today.
Loss of a yard inside the red zone. The Chiefs have really had problems this year in scoring touchdowns, as opposed to last season when they hit for a high percentage on 6-pointers as opposed to 3-pointers. Harvey Williams, up the middle he goes to the 10. And on 2nd and 11, he is just short of the first down by a couple of yards. He's their darter. He's their off-speed pitch, his changeup.
People in Kansas City love Harvey Williams. I think it's because he is such an exciting, elusive, explosive runner. They watch Barry Word and Christian Okoye bang it in there, and then a lot of those people that I talk to here in the Kansas City area think that Harvey Williams should be playing more because he's more of a big play, long play threat.
Well, they put it finally at the 11, so it's now going to be 3rd and 3. The drive started at the 39 of Kansas City. Okoye on 3rd and 3, tripped up in the backfield, maintains his footing. It's like he's driving a sled out there, down to the 80s, right at the first down marker. Blaze Winter in on the stop along with Junior Seau.
Leslie O'Neal missed him in the backfield. They've got a good read on this Kansas City offense because between Junior Seau, Leslie O'Neal, they're taking shots in the backfield. But that time O'Neal missed. Okoye gathered his balance, and now they'll have to measure to see whether or not it's a first down.
Do they have enough? Yes. By the length of the football. And good news as well for the Kansas City Chiefs. We just received word that Dale Carter, the cornerback, the extra defensive back, and the return specialist on punts, was poked in the right eye. He will be available. He will be returning. So a 1st and goal now for Kansas City. They have had problems in the red zone. They've got only 7 TDs, as we just saw, in their 19 trips inside the red zone, as opposed to last year when they had 15 touchdowns on 23 trips inside the 20-yard line. 1st and goal from the 8. Okoye, surprise. And a flag on the play as he's down to the 6, a gain of a couple. Blaze Winter tripped him up, and that's a great story. Blaze Winter didn't play at all last year after he was released by the Packers. Find out from Bernie Kukar. It's a hold on Kansas City. The Blaze Winter put together a videotape, and he started to sell himself to various teams.
Holding,
3 teams.
number 61 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on Tim Grunhard, the center for the Chiefs, but perseverance definitely paid off for the young man you were just looking at, number 96, Blaze Winter out of Syracuse.
Well, they love having him on the team, too. He's one of these type of guys that growls before the game starts. And just Mr. Intensity. They love having him out there.
So first down all over again. First and goal now from the 18-yard line. Extra wide receiver in. They double up on the right side as they bring in J.J. Burton. It's Okoye. Can he get to the outside? O'Neal can't hold on. And diving inside the 15. It's down close to the 12 for Christian Okoye on a gain of 6. But another flag on the play. Yeah, we'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching the Philadelphia Eagles pound the L.A. Raiders. Another penalty against Kansas City. And welcome to those of you that just watched that game at Veterans Stadium. Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. 6 minutes, 5 seconds left of the first 15 minutes of play. And basically what we expect.
We have a personal foul, illegal crackback block. Number 84 on the offense, 15-yard penalty, still first down.
Called to the wide receiver, Willie Davis. But basically what we expected. The two teams wanted to establish the run and grind it out early.
Left-hand side of your screen. Let's see if we can pick up Willie Davis coming in. There he is, cracking back on Richards, and that's one of the most dangerous plays in football, and that's why you get the big penalty, and they called it immediately.
So now it's going to be first and goal from the 32. 4 wide receivers in. Craig is hit and barely got rid of it. He's pounded in the backfield. And it was Chris Mims, who's just recently getting the starts doing an injury up front. And as Bill Arnsberger told us about their first-round draft choice yesterday, he's got all the tools. He needs the opportunity.
Well, let's take a look at it all as it collapsed here. People coming around from everywhere. And, boy, you talk about barely getting it away. And Chris Mims has been more aggressive, and he's getting more opportunities. And that's why they say he's coming up with plays now. Simply opportunities.
Well, they've been looking for a great defense, and they've spent their first-round draft choices on defensive players, as you can see in recent years, and it's definitely paid off for San Diego, number 1 in the AFC defensively. McNair on the delay, just inside the 30, down to the 29. The fans at Arrowhead, and a sold-out Arrowhead Stadium, not happy with the play calling early, at least on that one, which is the 10th play of the drive that started back at the 39 of Kansas City. Sun was out earlier today for the first time, they tell me, in better than a week and a half in Kansas City, but it disappeared almost as quickly. It is gray, it is overcast, and obviously precipitation possibilities in western Missouri. 5 minutes left in the first quarter. No score thus far, and third and goal from the 29. Craig out of the shotgun pressure again. It's deflected and knocked out of the hands of Todd McNair. Bert Grossman was all over the quarterback, Dave Craig, once again. This front seven had 7 sacks last week in their shutout of Indianapolis.
You know, that's just a great effort by the line here. They know, number one, that the ball has got to go downfield. And, man, they collapse it up, and Grossman really disrupts the entire throwing process.
So now it's going to be a long field goal try for Nick Lowry. He is 13 of 15 so far this season with a long of 52 yards. It's going to be a try of 47 yards out of the hold of the punter, Brian Barker. Well, the Chiefs take the lead in their first possession of the day. It's got the distance, and it's just inside the left upright. Nice little draw to it. Almost too much of a draw, though, for Nick Lowry, as the Chiefs take the lead. 3-0 Kansas City. Be right back to Arrowhead. Chiefs longtime place kicker Nick Lowry missed the last one with a groin injury, back in good form.
Boy, he is. You know, this is the tester. When you miss a week, little injury, look how happy he is. You want to know whether or not you're going to be okay. So you kick that person with a smooth technique, nothing pulled in there, and he's a happy man.
Didn't know how lucky he was going to be missing in that last game. A 27-3 embarrassment for the Chiefs at home to the Pittsburgh Steelers in a Sunday night matchup. Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday they failed in all areas of the game. And he blamed the coaching staff more than the players. He said you have to look at the coaches and the preparation when a team is that soundly beaten. And we talked about the win factor. Lowry needs someone to hold it for him. Nate Lewis waiting for the short one. He will take it up and around the 13. Lewis barely gets across the 20. Out to the 22 as he's put down by Benny Thompson. Another time out of the field. They're right back to Kansas City with 4:34 left in the first quarter. The Chiefs lead it by 3. Welcome back to sold-out Arrowhead Stadium. Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. Marty Schottenheimer wanted to run the ball early, and they did it effectively. They were stalled, though, by their own mistakes, penalties. Once they got it down to the 8-yard line, they had a first and goal. Finally got a 47-yard field goal from Nick Lowry, only scoring so far. And now San Diego has it for the second time. And Humphries is back to throw on 1st and 10. Has a man, it's deflected. And is it intercepted? No, it hits the turf. Albert Lewis almost came up with a pick after the deflection by Derrick Thomas.
That was beautiful defensive play. That's exactly what you ask your linebacker to get far enough where he forces the quarterback to throw it high. Derrick Thomas gets a hand tipping it up. That's team defense.
Derrick Thomas told us yesterday, he says it's a challenge. As Albert Lewis almost came up with a pick, he says we don't look at films of their defensive unit, but we know they're number 1 in the AFC. That's the same way when the Chiefs matched up with the Eagles. They wanted to look good defensively because of the Eagles' defensive unit. Humphries on 2nd and 10. Design roll. Has a man, and it's complete for the first down outside the 35-yard line. Anthony Miller, the red-hot receiver with 24 catches over the last 4 games, pulls it off in front of Albert Lewis. And he was disappointed, Beasley, with his season last year when it was a huge drop-off.
Well, he did. He had a lot of drops last year. He had a lot of nagging injuries. But, boy, he has been phenomenal this year. Now, take a look at the rollout. This moves the pocket, and it changes the angles that the defensive linemen have to rush to. But as a defensive back, you know when the quarterback's rolling to his right, he basically can only throw to his right. That's why he was so close, right on the receiver's back that time.
First down from the 36. Butts can't get out of the backfield. Martin Bayless doing it against his former teammate. He was the starter for 5 seasons in the secondary for the San Diego Chargers. He's in his 9th year from Bowling Green.
You know what? We are watching great defense, and that's what you expect when you put the number 1 and 2 defenses on the field from the conference. What a great read by Bayless. We saw the same type of play from Junior Seau from San Diego. So this is one of those games, if you're a fan of defensive football, sit down, pull out a pencil and paper, because they're making great reads and they're making great plays.
So now it's 2nd and long on that loss. Just about 5 yards. 2nd and 15, back at the 31. Harmon in motion out of the backfield. Pressure. Humphries tries to elude it. Does a good job to get out of the pocket. Great job by Stan Humphries. And a flag on the play at the point of the tackle. He took it across the original line of scrimmage. Got 7 yards. Make it 8 now on the scamper and a penalty on San Diego. Well, Ronnie Harmon was trying to protect his quarterback. He was in the neighborhood.
I believe it was Ronnie Harmon coming in trying to clear Stan Humphries for the run.
Illegal use of hands. Number 12 on the offense, grabbing the face mask of the defender.
Okay.
The 10-yard penalty from there.
Stan Humphries.
Hey, he's trying to protect himself. Look at that. Oh, well.
The stiff arm.
Stiff arm, but he closed the fingers. The only thing wrong with that one, Stan.
2nd down once again.
Now, you know, the way that pocket collapsed that time, that's the reason that they rolled out the last time. Take a look at it again. He sees the guy coming. He must have closed the fingers and yanked a little bit. Not much there, but they really protect players when it comes to the face mask.
Second and 19. Deep drop this time for Humphries. Pressure, and it's thrown behind the intended target and dropped. He wanted Nate Lewis, and Kevin Ross couldn't hang on.
Oh, he's sick. Oh, man, what a juggling act. He did everything right. Every technique was played to perfection. He just couldn't hang on. Hey, you're running fast. Ball is coming fast. Look at this. Oh, uh-oh. Look at what happened. The ball was a little bit behind, so that's almost a gimme. That's like a Christmas gift. That's why he's sick. Oh.
As Albert Lewis told us yesterday, talking about the two cornerbacks, Lewis and Kevin Ross, who you're looking at right now, they're always up on the line now in this new four-man front, the 43 defense. A lot of man-to-man assignments. Third and 19. Humphries has it poked away by Derrick Thomas. The loose ball, I think Thomas has it. Yes, he does. We've been talking about Junior Seau. We're watching two of the very best linebackers in the game today. 55 for San Diego, 58 Derrick Thomas for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You know, the big concern was, would Derrick Thomas be able to make his plays in the new 4-3 defense? Well, he makes most of his plays from this defense, from the nickel situation and passing situation. Man, he comes running in this time, and with all of his quickness, getting around the lineman, swatting, doing whatever. And then look, there's three people there, 2 against 1. He comes up with the football. That's why he's great. That's why he's an all-pro.
Big play on the turnover for Thomas and the Chiefs. They've got it 1st and 10 at the 15 of San Diego. 2 tight end set. Okoye, the only one in the backfield. Play action. Plenty of room for David Craig. He'll take it inside the 10 and wisely get out of bounds with a defensive back, Gilbert, coming up. He gets 8 on the scramble. A little naked bootleg action.
He's got the option there. He's got the option. Turns around. Nobody was open. And when you look at David run now, David, you know, is a super athlete, maybe not as fast as he used to be. He called for the Jets. The Jets really didn't respond for him. Like right now, he's trying to run, trying to get out there. But, man, what a great gain. Still picks up 8. And just a good play, Got the option, run or pass.
2nd and a couple. The ball at the 7. Jones and Davis, the wideouts, the same side. Long count by Craig. Okoye looking for first down. It looks like he's short by about a foot, just outside the 5.
San Diego is all over Christian Okoye. I mean, they are snuffing this thing out, and that's why they're number 1 against the run. The Kansas City Chiefs are basically using what they call reach blocking. Everybody's reaching out to the man to his right and pushing, and what they normally get is some cushion, some little sacks in there that Okoye can hit with all of his weight and power. That's not happening today because you've got a super defensive line and very active linebackers with Bobby Ross and his San Diego Chargers.
Tight formation. Okoye, the single set on 3rd and inches. Up the middle is Okoye. He is stacked up. I don't think he got it. I don't even think he got back to the original line. He may have lost about a half a yard. It's going to be 4th down and less than a yard. Interesting, you've got Okoye, who's your power back, and you go with the tight formation, everybody in close, but you've got somebody who's got a good vertical leap too, and Harvey Williams, who can go over the top and get that yard or 2.
Yeah, I think with the standard call there for Marty is to simply go with the big man and try to push the pile.
They are definitely going to go for the 4th and just a little less than a yard.
Well, it's definitely the thing to do, and you know, you got to look at Okoye and the offensive lineman. It's check time for the offensive lineman.
Play action. Craig has room over to the right side, looking to the end zone. He'll run for the first down instead. 1st and goal at the 2. He had the tight end who was setting up in the backfield. He was looking at Mike Dial, but that wasn't available. And that'll be the final play of the first quarter. So when we come back, Kansas City is going to have it 1st and goal just inside the San Diego 2. An impressive start for the defensive units, and now the Chiefs trying to get the first touchdown of the day when we return.
Now, I want to show you something here. It's a lineman, Joe Valerio, who comes from this side, drags all the way across. And that's what he has to decide. The quarterback, Dave Craig, am I going to try to thread the needle to number 73 alignment? He says no and tries to run it.
So Craig brings them up to the line on the first play of the second quarter. It's 1st and goal. Just inside the 2. It's Christian Okoye up the middle. Is he in? Yes, touchdown Chiefs. It was all set up by Derrick Thomas. Don't forget the linebacker, forcing the fumble of Stan Humphries and coming up with a loose ball at the 15.
You know, once again, it's quite the challenge for the offensive lineman. They make a pile, and Christian, with all of that weight and all of that power, kind of rumbles on the inside and gets the score. Boy, what a luxury. What a luxury to have a man that big, just kind of powers and lays over people, finds the end zone.
First score of the season for Christian Okoye. And Dick Lowry in for the point after. So the Chiefs capitalize inside the red zone on the turnover by the Chargers. Be right back to Kansas City with the Chiefs leading by 10. The Chiefs take advantage of the first turnover of the game and have a 10-0 lead on the Okoye touchdown. Not a happy beginning on the return for Bobby Ross, who's an assistant here in Kansas City for Marv Levy for 4 seasons. In fact, Bobby Ross told us yesterday he's got great memories. In fact, he bought his dog at a pound right by the stadium. Bought the dog, 1978. Named the dog Chief.
And the dog's still living.
Chief is still with him in San Diego in 92.
Hey, his kids went to school right here by the, I mean, he really has fond memories of the area.
His children went to Raytown South High School, and he loved living in Kansas City, as he told us yesterday. Now they're going to have to hold it for Nick Lowry. That's a swirling wind at Arrowhead Stadium today. A difficult day for the return men on the knuckleballs. Lowry is sending it in the direction of Nate Lewis at the 11. Across the 25 with the flag down on the play. They're looking at Darren Carrington as possibly the guilty party, as Lewis is down to the 26. Let's find out about the flag. So it's going to be against San Diego. And it looked like 29 Carrington.
Holding number 29 on the return team, on the run back, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So after starting their first 2 drives at their own 23, now San Diego is going to start the third possession of the day inside their own 10 when we return to the 8-yard line. For the matchups next Sunday. Joe Phillips, the former Charger, now starting in the 4-3 alignment for Kansas City against his former teammates. Butts, the only one behind Humphries. And now they spot the ball outside the 10 at the 12. Butts trying to cut it back against the grain. On the counter, up to the 14, and that is it, a gain of a couple. Joe Phillips told us yesterday he wanted out of Kansas City, and it didn't come until after the first couple of games that he was released by the Chargers.
Very true. They try to run the counter trey here, and there's Joe Phillips actually catching all the linemen, destroying the blocking of it. A very wide man is Joe Phillips, about 300 pounds of muscle that he uses to drive his way in there.
He wanted to get out of San Diego, but he said he thought it was a mistake by the Chargers because they didn't get a thing for him. Not even a draft choice in releasing him. 2nd and 8. The ball just outside the 14. Pocket holds up for Humphries. Penalty flag on the play. Anthony Miller's available. Miller has the first down, but the flag thrown in the area where you normally see a holding call. And Smith and Sally Amour were all over Humphries. It is going against San Diego. Not much right so far for the Chargers. They've still got the ball at the 25-yard line, the point of the reception. But they are talking to Kansas City. They'll take the penalty, of course. It seems simple. Why is it taking this long?
Tripping. Number 72 on the offense. Half the distance to the goal line. Still second down.
Penalty is on Harry Swain in his 6th year from Rutgers. Lampy signing Tampa Bay last year for San Diego.
On the left-hand side of your screen, you see the leg whip is actually what it is. The leg whip up on Derrick Thomas. And boy, that can hurt you.
Well, he's trying to change him from a tenor to a soprano with that leg whip. It's at the 7. We're at second. And just about 16. Ronnie Harmon trying the right side. Pulled down from behind. Derrick Thomas had him around the ankles. Derrick was frustrated when he talked to us yesterday.
Yeah.
He told us in the old alignment, the 34, the Okie, I was the focus. And I had plenty of chances from the backside.
But see, I think the coaches really sold him on this defense by saying, in most situations, you'll still get your plays. And I think it's true. We've seen him bat balls out. We've seen him still rushing in from behind. You can't bury talent. I don't care what the scheme is. This man has so much talent that he'll continue to make plays.
3rd and 14 down. Humphries, who's throwing from his own goal line, has time going deep, way over the head of everyone. Wanted Anthony Miller, but the safety was in a deep center field posture, Charles Mincy.
Well, he had all the time in the world to throw it. I think that was one of those I'm a smart quarterback throws. I honestly believe he simply threw that away in recognition of the fact that there was nothing there, because the Charger offensive line did a super job. They gave him all day.
Dale Carter is back in, waiting for the punt from John Kidd. The last time Carter returned to punt against San Diego. First time he touched the ball as a pro, he took it 46 yards for a touchdown. Kidd from his own goal line. The wobbler for Carter at the 45. Looking for room up the middle. And he spins down with a flag down to the play at the 45 of San Diego.
Carter on the return. There's
They're pointing a finger at 87, Mike Dial. This is an emotional game for these two teams, especially with Kansas City winning 5 straight over San Diego.
And San Diego with the opportunity to really go where no team has ever gone before. I mean, they are really scrapping out here. They know how big this game is for them. San Diego wins this game. You know, they lost the first 4, won the next 4. No team in the in the history of the National Football League has come back after losing 4 and won 5. So you're going to see that type of emotion. Big football game for San Diego, and of course a big game for Kansas City.
San Diego hasn't been to the playoffs since 1982. The last time they had a winning season, 1987, as Bobby Ross disappointed with the beginning, trailing by 10. And even with a 10-yard mark-off, still great field position for Kansas City. And a personal foul. It was the personal foul after the initial penalty against Kansas City, the personal foul on San Diego. The Malta Conference took less time.
We had an illegal block in the back, number 87. Personal fall, number 99. That's a double fall after a change of possession. We will place the ball at the spot of the receiving team's fall. First down.
A break for Kansas City.
A big break. You know, these are some complicated penalties these guys are coming up with. I mean, it's taking them forever to figure out just what to say.
Welcome back again to Kansas City. Gil Bird, the defensive back, told us yesterday, made his first Pro Bowl last year. He said, felt like a rookie all over again when I went over to that game. As Okoye has it on first down, keeps the wheels spinning down to the 42, a gain of 3. And Gilbert has to be surprised because he also told us he thought they were going to work on Sean Van Horst very early in the game, the cornerback on the other side, because Van Horst is getting his first start in place of the injured Tony Blaylock. Bird's in his 10th year from San Jose State, a true leader, a former first-round draft choice for this team. And there's the young man he was talking about, Sean Van Horst, who's in his first year from Howard University, a young man from Baltimore.
You know, he gave him some good advice, too. He said, when you play out there, play from deep to short. I mean, that's great advice for a young quarterback. Make him catch it in front of you until you get the feel of a game.
2nd and 7. Ball at the 42 of San Diego. Play action for David Craig, and the pocket holds up as he throws it behind Okoye. Also in the neighborhood, Willie Davis, who's really been a pleasant surprise, the former World Leaguer.
See, just a lot of pressure this time coming from Leslie O'Neal, and that's the reason that David didn't have time to really get what he wanted. You know, the play action had some possibilities downfield, but he had to step up and get rid of it quickly. Christian Okoye, not exactly known for catching the ball out of the backfield, and you saw why that time.
And especially with his own man running right in front of him, Willie Davis, at the same time the ball arrived. O'Neal with 7 sacks so far this season. He had a couple last week. He had 9.5 sacks last year, but it was a disappointment for Leslie O'Neal as 4 of those 9.5 came in the final game of the season. Craig on the slant, and Tim Barnett has it for the first down on 3rd and 7. Tim Barnett back after 5 weeks off due to an ankle injury. He was their leading receiver yardage-wise last season.
You know, that's one of the first passing plays we've seen today that worked perfectly. Great blocking. It's a great throw, a good pattern, and the defense isn't bad. Just a great throw and a good catch.
Rolled it off in front of Gil Bird.
You know, sometimes you just have to say, good throw, good catch. I mean, Gil Bird was right there, broke on the ball very well, just a perfectly placed pass.
First down from the 29, 11 minutes, 10 seconds left in the first half. Okoye belted in the backfield. Seau slowed him up originally, and finishing off the play, big George Thornton, 6'3", 300-pounder.
This is a well-coached defensive football team. When they start the motion, the crack men come up quickly, and look at the field. That's just a good job all the way across the board. No cushion, no pocket, no little seam for Okoye to hit.
10 carries, 14 yards for Christian Okoye. Remember, he's going up against the #1 defense in the NFL at stopping the run. The Chargers are only giving their opponents 71 yards a game on the ground. Talk about stingy. 2nd and 11. Loss of a yard for Okoye. Out of the shotgun. Pressure comes. Craig dumps it off. Unfortunately for David Craig, it's incomplete. It went right through the hands of Chris Mims. The pressure came from Bert Grossman, but 94 almost had a chance at it.
You know, when you see that man coming at you, and he's coming from your vision side. You know, Craig is right-handed. He drops back. He can see Grossman coming. You know, he can feel Mims coming, and you have to get rid of it too quick. The quarterbacks have great peripheral vision. See, he saw that. You see a little short arm pitch there, and very difficult to complete a pass when the protection breaks down that quick.
Chris Mims really coming on. This is his 3rd start. Getting the opportunity to play now, their first-round draft choice from Tennessee. Young man that went to Dorsey High School in Los Angeles. 3rd and 11 now. Pocket holds up for Craig. Almost tried to guide that one in to J.J. Burton. Now will they go with a long field goal try?
You know, sometimes when the pocket's breaking down a little too quickly for you, you start to imagine that the pocket's breaking down. That time, David's feet got a little bit happy. He had a little room. He could take a couple of steps to the right, would have bought him some more space, and he could have really thrown a much better pass than that time.
Ryan Barker is on to punt. I'm not surprised instead of the 47-yard field goal try, because right now, Kansas City winning the war of field position. Well, let us remind you, it is a very windy day. It is swirling around Arrowhead Stadium. So Marty Schottenheimer not happy with Barker to begin with. Looks for him to angle it out of bounds. He's headed over to the near side, and he gets a Chiefs bounce as Lonnie Martz gathers it in. Inside the 10, close to the 6. So Barker, who's been having his problems. In fact, they had a couple of punters in the past 10 days. Gets the job done early today. The 1975 New York Giants. The head coach, the man in the middle, Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator now for San Diego, and his assistant coach, Marty Schottenheimer. In fact, Bill Arnsparger gave Marty Schottenheimer his first coaching job in the NFL. That was before the start of today's game. As Marty told us yesterday, oh so much to Bill Arnsparger. Get right back to that as Marian Butts bangs his way across the 10, out across the 12 for about 4 yards on the carry. But back to that thought, Bill Arnsparger gave Marty his first assistant coaching job after Marty was in the World Football League in Portland. And Marty told us, I was about to give up on a coaching job in the NFL. It was late March, and I promised my wife by the end of the month, if I don't get a job, I'm going to continue in real estate in the Denver area. Lo and behold, he got the call from Bill late in March, stayed at Bill's house for a couple of nights, was interviewed for the job, got the job, $24,000 a year. As Marty told us, it was like $1 million a year for him at the time. Get back to that thought. It's 2nd and 5. Up the middle it goes, and Butts has the first down. Most of it on his own across the 20 to the 21. First down, San Diego. If you're right back to Kansas City.
Said all along that no matter what McMahon did today, his intention was just to give Cunningham 1 week off, give him a fresh start, and start him next week. Back to Joel.
Thank you, Bob. The controversy was developing here in the booth as well, and Beasley was definitely questioning Coach Hyde at the time. A yard on the first down carry for Marian Butts across the 21 to the 22. Back to Marty Schottenheimer and Bill Arnsparger, though. When Marty got the job here 4 years ago, he offered the defensive coordinator position to Arnsparger, who was still the athletic director in Florida, and he was turned down. Then he offered it to Joe Collier. Joe said, I need a job, a year off from the job after working for Denver. Bill Cowher kept saying, Marty, I can do it. Marty, I can do it. He gave it to Cowher. And you know about Cowher power now in Pittsburgh. As Butts goes across the 25, he's at the 26, and he's going to bring up third and just about 6. But interesting the way things work. And when Bill finally said to Marty, I'm going to go to San Diego and take the job there, Marty said, well, what made you go back? He said, I'm a football coach, and I need a sideline to walk.
And boy, we can see the emotion in Marty Schottenheimer's eyes as he talked about Bill Arnsparger, just talking about that sideline, because he certainly can relate to that feeling about the game of football.
Third and a long 5, almost 6. They need to get it to the 31. Humphries on the straight drop, hit by Thomas again. What a start today for Derrick Thomas.
Derrick Thomas is an amazing football player. Doesn't matter what scheme you put him in, the dash up, the cut on the inside, and what a blast on Humphries. He will get his. You know, in a 3-4, 4-3, it doesn't matter what the set is. Derrick Thomas makes his plays, and that's a big-time football play.
So on 4th down, Kidd ready to punt it away. Dale Carter waiting back to 35. Low spiral. Carter will stay away from it. And it's grabbed by Hendrickson. The all-purpose everything for the San Diego Chargers. Their linebacker, reserve tight end. And this is to be expected between two teams that are meeting for the 65th time. Two original AFL franchises. And in those 65 meetings, it's hard to believe. 32 wins for Kansas City, 31 for San Diego, and 1 tie coming in today. Time out of the field. Chiefs again with great field position. They wasted it the last time they had it. When we come back, they'll have a first down at their own 44. We're watching the top 2 teams in the AFC defensively today, San Diego and Kansas City. And the 2 have dominated. Kansas City with only 4 first downs so far, only 2 for San Diego. And Beasley, San Diego, you may find this surprising, they probably feel fortunate to be down by only 10 as Derrick Thomas is off to a sensational start today. But when you look at the field position, Kansas City has started with the ball at their own 39, at the San Diego 15, at the San Diego 45, and now at their own 45. They've been winning that war. They could easily be up by 3 touchdowns already. Okoye. Left side has not been kind to the Chiefs this year, as Marty Schottenheimer told us yesterday. The left side not effective like the right side. He also said the toss has not been good for us because we have huge offensive linemen. The counter trail we've been miserable on. So the little things, the computer ease that coaches keep up with, the right side, 75% of the time has been 4 yards or more for Marty Schottenheimer in the running game. Only a yard and a half on the carry for Okoye. They double up. Jones and Willie Davis. Gotta love the name Willie Davis over on the right side. He's in motion right now. Played for the Orlando Thunder in the World Football League last year. And Craig on the play action. Design roll. Going for Trey Jones. Gil Bird. Great job. The defensive back.
See, once again, when a quarterback rolls to the right, Gil Bird, with all of his years of experience, knows full well that there's only one direction that he can throw, and that's to the right and to the outside. So, see, your quarterback is running that fast to the right side. There's only one place you can throw the ball. Gil Bird knows that, and he's all over it.
Last time the Chiefs had the ball, it was at the San Diego 45. They picked up 1 first down, then they were forced to punt. Are they going to waste great field position once again? Now they're looking at third. A little bit better than 8 yards to go. It's an outstanding defensive unit for the Chargers. 8 men on the line of scrimmage for San Diego. Craig out of the shotgun of the slant. Will it work again? No, poked away by the defensive back, Donald Frank. It worked the last time.
Yeah, another super defensive play. He's got help on the inside, so he's got a lot of courage there in that particular defense. All he has to do is ride the shoulder and bat it down. That's a super play by Frank. There's the ball in motion. Doesn't do anything illegal with the left hand or the right hand. Pops it in and pulls it down.
So a punting situation again for Brian Barker, and we spoke of that briefly, that he's had his problems in the last game in particular against Pittsburgh. So Marty Schottenheimer brought in a couple of punters during the 2 weeks that they had the off week to bye. I know more of Buford's out there. Also Steve English, former punter with the Rams. Does Barker get away a good one? Yes. Turns it over, but it looks like it's going to find the end zone, and it does. So it looked good, but the net result not all that good. And when we return, San Diego will have it. 1st and 10 of their own 20, trailing by 10 with 5:51 left in the first half. A cool, windy day in western Missouri at Arrowhead Stadium. That has not deterred the enthusiasm, though, of the Kansas City Chiefs fans. And welcome back once again. I'm Joel Myers alongside Beasley Reese. Only 2 first downs so far, Beasley, for the San Diego offense, but they're only down by 10.
Boy, and they are very fortunate because that defense for Kansas City has been powerful. Derrick Thomas off to a fantastic start, and they are very lucky just to be down 10.
Now let's see if San Diego starts to open things up a little. The Chiefs defensive backs thought they would throw the ball because of the confidence level now of Stan Humphries coming off 2 great passing days.
That's what they have to do now. They have to throw the ball. It is clear that they cannot run on the Kansas City Chiefs. So we can look for Stan Humphries to mix it up. Some variations in the alignments and in the play calling. And now it's up to that man right there. They'll have to put it on that right arm to see if he can throw him back into this game.
This is not a total surprise, though. In the first meeting between these 2 teams this year, the Chiefs gained only 188 yards offensively, 155 for San Diego. Humphries pressured. He's got Miller, and he hangs on. Anthony Miller, in a juggling act on the sideline, has it short of the first down at the 27.
You know, that's a sign of the strength of this quarterback's arm. Now take a look at the route. Drive him till you get him turned and convinced you're going deep, stop and come back. Now, what's great about that route is he has to really come way back to get the ball. Humphries was under pressure, and with his strength, only a right arm flick was able to get that ball in the area.
2nd and short. Chargers have rarely seen this situation. Butts has the first down over the left side, out to the 31-yard line. We've been talking about Stan Humphries, a very hot quarterback. That's why we thought they'd open it up a little bit earlier as far as the San Diego Chargers were concerned. Last week, Humphries 22 of 33, 256 yards. And the game before that, 20 of 27 for a career best 349 yards passing.
Joel, over the last 4 games that they've been winning, he has passed for over 1,000 yards in just 4 games. So he does have the hot hand right now.
First down, San Diego, down by 10. 4:35 and counting left in the first half. Play action on the counter. Humphries with time, man over the middle. Anthony Miller's got it again, his 3rd grab of the day. He's averaging 6 receptions a game over the last 4. And he's got it for another first down across the 47.
You know, this guy has got so much speed, you have to respect it. But along with that speed, he has a beautiful technique. Look at him lean the defensive back upfield and then fall away from him. The ball is there as he turns. So it doesn't matter the fact that Kansas City played it very well. There was a safety there. He makes the turn. The ball is there as he turns inside.
2 first downs in a row. Major news for San Diego Charger fans. Humphries throwing on first down. Lewis has it. He's got about 6 on the reception. And back to, as Nate Miller brings that in, back to the pitcher-catcher analogy that Anthony Miller gave us. Basically, they're starting to get comfortable with Stan Humphries.
Yeah, well, he knows the system now. They're believing in him. Now, take a look at Thomas. He drops back, tries to get the quarterback to have to throw it high. Doesn't get back fast enough. And Humphries, with a powerful arm, sits it down in there.
But the wide receivers now, like a pitcher and catcher, gaining confidence in each other.
Very, very true.
That's why they've been responding over the last 4. with Stan Humphries. Humphries on the deep drop. He's going for the bundle. He's got Nate Lewis. It's complete to the 5. He's in. Touchdown, San Diego. Flag is down back at the original line, though. Is going to hold on the Chargers.
And Neil Smith is on the ground, on his knees, saying, "Don't you celebrate now." He's saying, "Come on back here." So somebody had to hold me to allow the quarterback to have that much time.
That was almost the 3rd touchdown catch over the last 2 games for Nate Lewis.
Was that a great throw? Yes, it was. Was it a great catch over the shoulder, full extension?
Number 76 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Boy, this cost him a lot of money. Look at Neil Smith. He just power bull rushes over Thompson, so Thompson had to grab him. He had to bring him down, and that's why Stan Humphries had so much time to just put that ball right on the money. Maybe that hurt.
Neil Smith, though, likes the new 4-3 as opposed to Derrick Thomas. Neil Smith told us yesterday as Broderick Thompson picks up that penalty. Neil said, in this alignment with the 43 now, basically they look like a bear defense at times.
Right.
I see tight ends a lot as opposed to always tackles and guards. I've got more opportunities.
And he's the guy. In that defense, he's the guy.
Thomas has him again, back inside the 35. Is he ever lightning? Third sack of the day for Derrick Thomas. He had 6.5 coming in.
See, that man right there, Derrick Thomas can take over a football game. He can change the course of the history of a football game, and that's what he's doing today. That is super play, a great charge. You can't stop that. It's nothing but speed, and it's nothing but talent. Offensive linemen can't get back fast enough to set their bodies in a power position and stop him.
You got a feel for a 300-pounder like Harry Swain trying to get Derrick Thomas. So instead of a touchdown, 3rd and forever, and now confusion all over the place for San Diego. The left guard, Moten, lifted up a little bit early.
Ball start. Number 77 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
The Chargers now.
Still 3rd down.
How quickly things can change. What appeared to be a momentum-changing touchdown throw has turned into 2 nightmare penalties by the offensive line and the inability to stop Derrick Thomas from changing a football game. Quickly things change in football.
3rd down and a half mile. It's back at the 29. Pressure again. Thomas bolts the ball away. The Chiefs get it back. Thomas knocked it away again. Leonard Griffin's got it. Derrick Thomas hasn't been much of a factor today, has he?
Joe, he's taken over the game. There's nothing else I can say about that one man. One man is you can grab him in the face, you can hit him in the head. It doesn't matter. That one man, Derrick Thomas, that's why he's an all-pro. He has batted 2 balls out in the course of this game, 4 sacks. He is the emotional leader. Derrick Thomas, that's an all-pro, and you are looking at a man taking over.
He told us yesterday, we get psyched when the other team's defensive unit is a very good one as well. He said it was the same way in the Eagles game. We wanted to prove something that we had a defensive unit as good as Philadelphia's.
They've met the challenge, Joe. They've come here and they've met the challenge as a defense.
4 sacks already for Derrick Thomas. Play action for Dave Craig. And he's going to get hit from behind. That was a coverage sack. Plenty of time for Craig. And the sack is going to Henry Rolling.
You know, watch O'Neal here. Watch O'Neal here. Same problem. Little move, little shake, uppercut. They call that a head connection uppercut. Gets around and hurries. And you know what? I think that's very smart of David Craig there. A younger quarterback, a lesser quarterback might have tried to do something. He simply sneaks up farther, covers the ball, and goes to the ground. Leslie O'Neal with a super charge.
2-minute warning in Kansas City. Chiefs rolling once again. AFC West, Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. The Chiefs and the Chargers, 2 old AFL teams. And right now it's the Chiefs defense. That's the difference in the game, with Kansas City leading at 10-0. Exactly 2 minutes remain. And after the sack by Rolling just before the 2-minute warning, that brings up now a 2nd and 13 for Craig. Wants to pitch it and does finally. To their 20, inside the 20. Kimball Andrews, the second-year man from Houston, down to 17.
Okay, that's mixing it up. You know, we talked to Marty Schottenheimer about the personal examination that they've gone through. They're good running the ball between the tackles, but they needed some wide plays, some plays that stretch the defense laterally. And there's one. They executed very well.
Now on a 3rd and 5, a little bit more than 5. If the Chargers can hold Marty Schottenheimer's Chiefs, it's a victory if they can hold them to only 3 points here after the turnover. And the way the Chiefs started the drive, the 22 of San Diego. Craig out of the shotgun. Pocket holds up, has a man, and it's poked away. Van Horst getting his first start, timing it perfectly on J.J. Burden.
Good job by the quarterback to survey the entire field, but an even better job by the defender. That's a super play. Craig had an option of 2 or 3 places. He looked to the right first. That's his relief route. If you can't find anything, you come back to the guy dragging all the way across the field. And boy, what a super football play.
It's going to be a 35-yard try by Nick Lowry. He has already hit one today at 47 yards. He's only missed 2 all season. But we did see a bit of a draw at the tail end of his first try today. Is it going to be a snap hook this time like my golf game? 35-yard attempt out of the hole of the punter, Brian Barker.
Nope.
Yep, he's got no problems like my golf game.
No problems like your golf.
Nick Lowry gives the Chiefs 3 more, but let's remember that is somewhat of a victory for the San Diego Chargers because they turned the ball over again, and Kansas City started at the Chargers' 22-yard line.
Well, the Chargers are 2 touchdowns. They're 2 quick accidents. They're 2 plays away from being on top in this football game. So like you said, from the way things have gone, they should be very happy to be in this position and have the opportunity to go in at the half and dissect what's happened and come back with a new plan for the second half.
Minute, 11 seconds left in the first half. We'll see the hurry-up offense from the San Diego Chargers. They get a score, any kind of score. They're in good shape for the second half.
You know what's fun about football now? We watch these brilliant coaching staffs go in and get on their chalkboard for 10, 15 minutes and try to figure out what is going right, what is going wrong. They'll look at still photos of formations. They'll talk about tendencies that have held true or that have not been true. They will redefine a second half game plan, and we'll see who can coach when they come out of this locker room.
Right now, the difference in the game, Derrick Thomas, 4 sacks. He's forced a couple of fumbles. That has resulted in 10 of the 13 points for Kansas City. As Nate Lewis has it sail into the end zone. He'll stay right there. The wind to the back of Nick Lowry, but as we mentioned earlier, it's a swirling wind. It's changing constantly.
Nick Lowry is doing one heck of a job coming off an injury, coming off an off 2 weeks, you know, after getting hurt and then having to sit out the bye week. Man, he's come in confident like the all-pro perfect guy that he is.
Hard to believe, though, this is his 13th year from Dartmouth, that he's only been to the Pro Bowl twice, and he's the most accurate place kicker in NFL history.
That is amazing. We need to look into that.
He's 15 of 17 on the season, 2 of 2 today.
There's a conspiracy here. Well, I guess you can't let him go every year.
This is the 6th possession for the Chargers. Only twice have they started outside their own 20-yard line. So you're down by 13. Humphreys, and they have a full complement of 3 timeouts. The H-back drops a perfect toss from Humphreys. Derek Walker.
Those H-backs don't get to catch too many of them. That was dead on the money. He certainly should have had that. And as a defensive back, you know, this is interception time. You know, the quarterback's got to get it downfield. He's got to take some chances. So, man, these defensive backs, they lick their fingers in this time of the game.
It stops the clock with 67 seconds left in the first 30 minutes of play. Humphreys, with no one behind him in the backfield, has time, and Anthony Miller hangs on after almost dropping it for a first down to the 42-yard line. He almost caught a case of the drops there.
Boy, that would have been real bad. What he did was he allowed the ball to hit his pads and bounce forward. That can really be dangerous. You know, once again, Anthony Miller is one of the top flight guys. They have 2 people on him, a man in his face. They drop into that prevent zone, so it's a little bit easier. The mistake actually made by the linebacking core, not getting back and set and breaking laterally. Stan once again not getting anything free. Take a look at Bill gets a right hand in the chin and a left arm wrap around the backside of the head, but still the concentration there.
But I like the vision with Humphries flat on his back, still trying to follow the ball.
See, that's a winner. That's a football player. Even with the right fist in the chin, he's trying to see where the ball went.
San Diego using the timeout. They've got 2 left now. 56 seconds remaining in the first half of play.
You know, what a moral victory this would be to get 3 points at least out of this situation.
Time for Humphries, looking deep again for Nate Lewis. And plenty of contact from the defensive back there. Albert Lewis covering Nate Lewis, but no flag in the play.
You know, sometimes there can be a flag in that situation because the defensive back ran at least 5 strides with one arm just stuck out trying to block the receiver. Sometimes you get that.
Albert Lewis, who's been hurting most of the year. He's had a rib injury. He's been nicked up in other areas. Let's see if that arm goes up the shoulder early.
Now watch it going downfield. See that arm? Just holding it, holding it, holding it. You're not supposed to make moves like that unless you're going for the football. That's a veteran move. It's a great move by the defensive back. I'm an old defensive back myself, so I like the fact that there was no call, but still, sometimes you do get a call in that situation, and he is, unfortunately, obviously, in some pain.
Been a tough year for Albert Lewis. He has been used sporadically because of the injuries over the last 3 games.
Let's see if we can find the injury. And watch him as he falls. Look at the left arm, the left wrist. Looks like it collapses underneath the weight of his own body as he goes to the ground. Let's take a look at this angle. There's the collapse and the roll. Let's see what's the first thing he grabs. First thing he grabs is the left wrist. Good job, guys in the truck. Great camera shot. Holding that very gingerly. So he'll probably go in. As I watch him, he is going downstairs underneath the stadium where they have x-ray equipment. So they'll probably take a look at that.
2nd and 10, the 42 of the Chargers. They're down by 13. Better protection for Humphries. The H-back holds on this time, and Walker's got a first down. In Kansas City territory to the Chiefs 47 in the arms of Lonnie Martz, the linebacker.
Good smart play that time. They sent the wide receivers flying downfield in order to clear out. H-backs on both sides of the field. Broke underneath, and that's the smart move to try to get back a little bit at a time.
Timeouts remaining as San Diego just used their second. And another look with the H-back coming through.
You know, once again, the receivers are barreling downfield. You see Lewis with the corner route, and the H-backs just breaking underneath, and there was another short, medium route receiver on the other side. Humphries had his choice of the two, and obviously chose the right one this time. Good catch.
4 straight victories coming in for Bobby Ross and the San Diego Chargers.
Now, Kansas City as a defense will probably give them one more freebie. They'll stay in that prevent one more time, and then you get into that threatening area. Not quite the red zone, but an area where the Kansas City coaches will probably switch to a man-for-man or try a blitz, get some type of pressure on these guys. This should be another freebie for San Diego.
First down from the 47 of Kansas City, and Sean Jefferson is the motion man. The ball falls out of Humphries' hands. That was a free one, and he's put down at the 40. Boy, that'll make volleys.
Oh, man. Boy, what's up with that? And he had it. You know, I was talking about the freebie. KC dropped back in a nice soft zone, but the ball just comes out of the guy's hand.
Blitz coming from the secondary, and the blitz man almost got to him. Heads up play. Harmon from Humphries, and Harmon is knifed down by Dale Carter. But Benny Thompson almost got to Stan Humphries.
Benny Thompson is one of those special teams nuts. He's a blitzer, whatever you want him to do as a defensive back. And that time he does force Stan Humphries to use all of his athletic skills and recognition ability just to flip that ball out. Let's take a look at number 46. He'll come barreling in, coming in on a blitz, even though he's a little defensive back. And both those quarterbacks are good athletes as he gets it out to Ronnie Harmon, who can do a lot of things with a football.
The ambidextrous Stan Humphries with the left-hand
Switched
pitch.
it to the left. I bet he can go both ways with the basketball. You know, one of those guys, one of those great athletes.
He will not be in Hoop It Up. We know of that. 15 seconds left. That also forced the Chargers to use their final time out of the half. So now, can they get the 20-plus route to set up a field goal try on the sideline?
Well, we're looking at 3rd and about 14, and there are not a lot of plays in your playbook for 3rd and 14. So they'll probably go a medium route and hope somebody makes a break.
They want the sideline to stop the clock. Humphries buys some time. Now he's got a man on the sideline. He also had Sean Jefferson wide open at the 10 and didn't recognize that. It's incomplete, looking for Ronnie Harmon. So Humphries was so focused on the sideline and getting the clock stopped, he failed to see his man close to the running back Harmon out of the backfield, and that was Jefferson wide open.
Now everybody pounds the prevent defense, but you just saw the prevent defense played very, very well. It's not the defense, it's execution. But no broadcasters ever bring up the prevent defense unless a guy scores on it. So there it was, everybody. The prevent defense actually working.
Nobody back deep for Kansas City on the punt with only 8 seconds left in the half. Flags in the air. Chiefs jumped off sides. And it's picked up. Mincy. Charles Mincy. Not exactly what Marty Schottenheimer had in mind. Picked it up and took it out of bounds. The flag is against Kansas City. Offside on the right side.
Mincy got away with running the clock out that time, but boy, that's a dangerous thing. In football, it bounce anyway. Bounce off his leg. San Diego picks it up. I mean, that's not one of the things you do. He got away with it, though. So.
Well, now one final play. With no time left on the clock for San Diego. I would think they get the offense back on the field and throw one in the end zone. Why not? You get one final snap. No time left on the clock.
It's time for Hail Mary. Line up a bunch of people on one side and throw it high as you can.
On that last punt, you could really see the way the wind is affecting the kicking game.
And then, you know, sometimes coaches will say, okay, it's 13-0. Why should I do something desperate? Why should I gamble a sack for a fumble that somebody picks up and runs in for another touchdown to make it 20-0 or an interception? So maybe they will just punt it again. You never know.
Can't be a pessimist, buddy.
Well, still, I mean, some coaches think that way. They say, why should I do something? Why should I really gamble for the Hail Mary pass play? And, you know, they know statistically how many times that works. So you're talking about such a long shot that sometimes the coach will say, look, let's go in 13-0. Let's talk about what's wrong, and let's see if we can get it straightened out for the second half.
You know, today I'm all for bringing back replay because
we
the
might
conferences
as well,
with the referee have taken as much time as going up the replay booth would have.
I mean, really, today has been really unusual when it comes to the time.
The half is over. We had defense offside. We had grabbing the face mask on the defense offside. The half is over.
The half ends. The Chargers are wondering still why they don't get another snap. And you can see the Chargers still talking to the officials, wondering why the flags against Kansas City did not produce another snap for San Diego.
See, sometimes Bobby Ross is probably figuring that the officials are taking the easy way out. Okay, let's say that it's this, and get out of here. I mean, these coaches are really upset.
We'll get a clarification during halftime. And we'll be right back. It's halftime in Kansas City. The Chiefs, the defense, did a number on San Diego. They lead it by 13. Back after these messages from your local station.
I mean, the overwhelming star of this show is Derrick Thomas, and they are being led by the effort of this man right here. The first quarter, simply running around his lineman, taking the right hand, batting the ball out, and then 2 against 1, he actually comes up with the ball, and it ends up in a score. In the second quarter, similar effort. Top of your screen, I mean, blown by the offensive lineman, and once again, the right hand swat, and then once again, KC coming up with the football. And you know what? On offense, San Diego has simply had all the trouble in the world actually driving, and look at what happens to Stan Humphries. The ball just comes out of his hand. That would have been a freebie. It was one of those loose zones. He had the shot, he had the receiver open, and blocked.
Looking now at the Coors Light halftime numbers, Beasley.
You know, I mean, it's just, first of all, time of possession is the first thing I look at, and you see that it's just about even. So what's the difference? You look at the turnovers, and you see the 2 turnovers and the 2 turnovers gained by the defense. Everything else is really insignificant. You've got an advantage in rushing yards slightly by KC, slight advantage in passing by San Diego, because that's what they've had to do. They've had to try to pass to get back in it. The big one is the turnovers.
And a big blow. We have just received word now that the Kansas City Chiefs, as you see that's not exactly a flyby. That's a copter by. But the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be operating the entire second half without their 4-time Pro Bowler, Albert Lewis, on the corner with that left wrist injury.
Oh, that's a shame.
We'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City with the Chiefs leading 13-0 over the Chargers. But first, let's go to New York and join Bob Costas in NFL Live.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report.
And we send things back right now to Arrowhead Stadium for the second half. See you later.
Thank you, Bob. It's a 13-0 Kansas City lead. Now let's see in the second half if the San Diego Chargers start to double up on the side Derrick Thomas lines up on, whether that be Harry Swain's side of the other tackle, Broderick Thompson, whether they double up to the point where they put a back over there or they put a man in motion a la the wham play just to protect their quarterback on that side.
Well, that's the realization that they must have come to in the locker room, and that's the shocker. When you have a half-back H-back generated offense, it's very easy to line that H-back up to that side, to put him in motion at Derrick Thomas. They will have to come up with the Derrick Thomas factor, a way to nullify a man who took over the first half. He took the first half and put it in his pocket and said, it's mine.
John Carney ready to kick it away. Harvey Williams, the running back out of LSU, in his second season for Kansas City, waiting. He'll take it from the 2. The speed burner tries the left side and gets blocking across the 30. Good return by Williams to the 40-yard line.
And you know, Joe, that's a big play for an offense coming in at the start of a second half, because everybody in both locker rooms have talked about what we've got to do in the second half. KC said, we got to get back in it. And then Harvey and his team of blockers on the kick return team come out and take a lot of that emotion that you come out of the tunnel with. They just took it and put a foot on top of it with a great return to quiet that emotion.
Don't forget, Kansas City only had 6 first downs of their own in the first half. 6 for San Diego as well. It wasn't like Kansas City was burning it up offensively. But they are on top by 13. The tight end goes in motion. That's Keith Cash, and it's Christian Okoye with a big hole over the middle. And now Kansas City has better than 75 yards on the ground. That is already more than the average that the Chargers give up per game. It's 71 to the opposition.
Junior Seau once again involved. Let's take a look at as he learns his new position. Bounces off, follows the guy, and dives on the tackle. Junior Seau learning how to play on the inside and doing it very well. Boy, what an articulate, intelligent, if I start talking about Junior Seau, I'll be here. This is a great guy. That's a perfect athlete. Takes care of himself. He's a great person.
Tight end Dial in motion on first down, or make it second and short. And Harvey Williams, he is a darter. Just about a yard short of first down marker. Now another interesting sidebar as far as the Kansas City offensive unit is concerned. Their offensive coordinator, Joe Petrie, every game is on the sideline. Today, he is next to us in the box with the rest of the Chiefs coaches upstairs. They have had their problems offensively in recent weeks.
Well, you get a better view up here. You also have, you are privy to a lot of photos and pictures up here. Instant information, instant feedback.
Bad news for San Diego Charger fans. Bert Grossman injuring his right leg. It looks like the knee. We'll be right back for a progress report on Grossman with 13:55 left in the third.
You know, take a look at the injury here on the left-hand side of your screen. You can see what happened to Grossman as he goes in. Just the weight folds over his leg, and as he tries to get up, that sharp pain hits him, and he knows to stay down.
3rd and a yard for Okoye, lunging for the first down. So they are now 4 of 9 in 3rd down conversions, and that has been a problem area for the Kansas City Chiefs in 2 of the last 3 games. They were 1 of 10 in 3rd down tries. 4 games ago, they were 3 of 13. Now, granted, that was a 3rd and a yard, but definite improvement so far today, 4 of 9. But again, close to the vest at the outset, keeping the ball on the ground for Kansas City. They start with that great field position again from their own 40, and now they've got it first down at the San Diego 47. Okoye stays in the backfield. You joined us late. Barry Ward not suited up, an ankle injury, out for the day. Play action, Craig with time. There's O'Neal. He slips O'Neal, and he's underthrowing J.J. Burton. Van Horst on the coverage.
Well, a good escape move by David Craig, but just as you said, that was a freebie. You should have been able to hit. There's Grossman sitting on the sideline. Let's see if he can move around a little bit.
They're actually working on his left knee, not the right side. So that means Chris Mims will go the rest of the way. Mims, Winter, Thornton, and O'Neal up front. And unfortunately, Grossman is going to have to go for x-rays into the locker room. 2nd and 10 now for Kansas City. Are they committed to passing on all 3 downs, or will it be the shovel to Todd McNair, a single set? It is McNair, and he slips, can't maintain his footing, gets a yard, and that is it.
McNair on the carry.
Oh, and McNair is back there. You know what they'd like to do.
It is such a strong tendency when he is back there that you almost expect either a little dump pass with him sneaking through the middle, or the handoff as we saw. And there's Grossman going down. It's one of those first-round picks. Going down, he'll have the x-ray, and hopefully everything's okay.
3rd and 9 now. And they capitalize on the great field position that Harvey Williams gave them on the opening kickoff of the second half. Craig is on his way down, and a flag down on the play as well. Pressure came straight up the middle, and then finishing off Blaze Winter.
You know, that was a good disguise by the defense. I make this a semi-coverage sack.
Disregard the flag. There is no foul on the play. Disregard the flag.
No foul on the play, but David Craig had nowhere to go. As I watched the receivers and defenders move downfield together, there was nobody running free. So we'll make that a coverage sack and just say good job, San Diego.
Again, Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers in his unit, doing the job effectively.
Brian Barker on the punt, and Marty Schottenheimer told him to kick the ball high and get some hang time.
Line drive, returnable type, and Nate Lewis, bobbles it all the way back to the 1, and that's where he'll stay. Mike Dial got down on the special teams, the tight end, to make the hit. Another bad break field position-wise for the San Diego Chargers.
Absolutely no reason for this one. This one should have been caught. It was a low ball and a knuckler, so the wind doesn't have that much effect on it. Boy, what a horrible place to start for San Diego.
They'll have it at their own 1-yard line. Normally, Nate Lewis is not bringing back punts regularly for the San Diego Chargers. It's Eric Bieniemy. But Bieniemy, they don't want to use him today. He injured his ankle in the last game, and they don't want to have to go to Bieniemy if they don't have to. Bieniemy in his 2nd year out of Colorado is right next to Nate Lewis. And after the fumble, it cost a good 10 to 12 yards for the Chargers, and now the Chiefs have them exactly where they want them, on the 1-yard line. And Butts, ball security of the utmost, just hangs on, takes it up close to the 3, and gets 2 on the carry. Seliamuo with the stop.
You know, they break everything down statistically in pro football, and I bet the numbers are horrible when you start a drive from the 1 or the 2-yard line. Coaches talk about the football field like a table. If you start with good field position, you can slant that table downward and think about playing downhill. When you start at the 1 or 2, that baby's almost standing straight up. I mean, the odds of them scoring are horrible starting from where they are now.
They don't use the chairs here very often at Arrowhead Stadium, and they're chanting defense, and defense is doing it again. Joe Phillips knocking down his former teammate Marian Butts. Loss of a yard. It's back at the 2.
Such an emotional swing. The defense knows they've got it going on right now, and man, they are everywhere. Joe Phillips is too big, too wide, too strong. Against a big man, it's like a calf rope, like a cow tackling contest. Big men in the inside.
Chargers 0 of 6 on third downs today. This is 3rd and 9 from the 2. 10 1/4 left in the third. Delay. Ronnie Harmon spinning only to the 5, close to the 6. A little more room for the punter, John Kidd, but not much more.
See, this is that field position game, field position opportunity. You know, Derrick Thomas has been causing so much trouble. That time they got him trapped on the inside, but still he was trying to slash inside and get to Marian Butts. Couldn't get there, though.
Dale Carter back at the 45 of the Chargers, waiting for the John Kidd punt. And he sends out a beauty. Carter backpedals to the 42. Dodging. Gets to the 45-46, and that is all but again exceptional field position for Kansas City. Last time they had it at the 40, they could only pick up 1 first down. They had to punt. Let's see what they'll do with it when we return to Arrowhead Stadium. Last Sunday, Bill Arnsparger's defensive unit of the San Diego Chargers came up with a shutout of the Indianapolis Colts. First shutout for the San Diego Chargers since '86, and they held Indianapolis to only 99 yards. In fact, they only had 31 yards until the final possession of the day. But now, how often can they ask his defensive unit to get the job done in incredibly difficult field position? It's at the 46 now. They have done it just about every time. Twice. Kansas City has started with the ball inside the 20-yard line due to those Derrick Thomas fumbles that he has forced of Stan Humphries. And now they've got it 1st and 10 at the 46. Okoye sees a little opening on the left side and a flag on the play. Will it go against Fred Jones, the wide receiver who was trying to block for Okoye downfield after he picked up 6, almost 7. We asked Bill Arnsparger how much the game has been. It's really changed because he went away for a number of years. The college situation will pick up on it.
Number 87 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
They call it on Mike Dial, the tight end downfield blocking. And when we talked to him about the changes in the game, he said, really, there haven't been that many. He saw the 2-minute drill and the hurry-up offense in the old days when they went to their 2-minute offense. He said, the only thing basically is the situational substitutions. Everybody's shuffling players in and out of the field. It's 13-0 Chiefs over the Chargers. 9:15 and counting left in the third quarter. Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. But it has not been that difficult to return for Bill Arnsparger to pro football. And oh, how many successful years he had as the coordinator for the Miami Dolphins. Harvey Williams, nothing doing. Still maintains his footing. Believe it or not, across the 40. Hell, he wouldn't give up on the play. He still gets about 5.
Super athlete showing his grace there. Boy, that was nothing. That was a personal job. Watch the offensive line. Reach blocking. Everybody just takes off running to the right to block the man to the right. But the pursuit of San Diego is superior. They actually got outside. Only Harvey's quickness and balance allowed them to get something out of that play.
So they get 5, but it looked like it was going to be a loss of a couple.
They love that guy here. A lot of the fans would like to see him get the ball more.
He had only 17 carries coming in for the first 8 games of the season. He stays in the backfield on 2nd and long, 2nd and 15. Nothing doing outside his left tackle. He's got 2, and that is all. Junior Seau again in on that stop.
You know, this guy, you know, he's very slippery. First of all, the first thing is quick recognition. He sees it now. Slides in between 2 people and makes the play. Quick recognition, you know, the balance to turn his body and twist his body to get to the play.
Well, we asked him about working for Bill Arnsparger, now his new defensive coordinator. He looked at us and goes, you mean Father Time?
Yeah.
It was almost like we were talking about a religious experience with Junior Seau.
Oh, man.
That's the believability factor, though, that Arnsparger has with the members of this defensive unit. 3rd and long, 3rd and 13. Craig out of the shotgun. The dump off for Todd McNair. And the defensive back, Sean Van Horst, would not give up any ground there.
You know, that was a perfect example of how to tackle a man in the open field. McNair's got all the moves in the world. But Van Horst sat down. As he started to make those fancy moves, he sat and started to back up a little bit and stayed in front. Watch this. See, all that stuff will get most people. Look how he breaks down, looking at the belly button, which is the only point you can't move, and making the play. Great job by a young man.
About time as well for help on its way. Barker in to punt it away. Nate Lewis again. He'll let it head over his head into the end zone. So a break for San Diego. When we come back, they'll have it at their own 20. That is a break because their best field position to start a drive all day long has been only their 23-yard line. They're down by 13.
You know, Brian Barker is looking to make some big plays today. A couple of weeks ago, he hit a low punt that a guy ran back for a touchdown. He's hoping to drop some punts on the 1-yard line. Look at his reaction. That was a good punt. He punted it into the end zone. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that punt, but he's looking to make some super plays because after he did a couple of low punts 2 weeks ago, Marty Schottenheimer brought some punters in. Some punters in and tried them out. Can you imagine what that does to your psyche? Brian Barker's looking to make some magic today.
First down, San Diego from the 20. Trailing by 13. Humphreys hit as he releases. Harmon has it. It's complete. Gets a block. And very close to the first down. He's a yard short at the 29.
You know what? That was another great play by Harmon. See, that ball was just a little bit late. But what Harmon did was at the very end of this play, I want you to watch what Harmon does. Hopefully you see the defender, but Harmon jumps forward just in front, and that's what clears him to catch the ball. And it also allows him to, it's like putting a move on a guy before you get the ball. That's a dangerous thing, but he jumped forward, caught the ball, gave him a little separation, and he was able to make a few yards.
35 catches so far this year, 56 last season, a career best, and a first down for San Diego on the run by Marian Butts on 2nd and a yard. So they take it to the 33.
You know, the problem that San Diego is having is they can't get the running game on track. So as a result, these guys are just teeing off. I mean, you're talking about a first down that nets very, very low. So now the defenders are looking at 2nd and 10 or 2nd and 11, and that's the way it's been all day long. So Derrick Thomas and Neal and all these guys know they can pin their ears back and fly.
First down from the 33. They double team Neal, Smith, Humphreys going for Nate Lewis. It's complete. Held on to the 40-yard line. So now they are with the passing game getting 6, 7, 8 yards a crack on first down. So they're not looking to those 3rd and longs because they are 0 for 7 in 3rd down conversions today.
That's right. And what they've had to do is rethink their the way they're going to get things done. That was a good catch and a perfect drag of the right foot by Nate Lewis. They came in this game and they came into the season, San Diego did, looking to be a running team and then a passing team. Well, today they figured out they can't run this ball today. They're going to pass it a little bit, get it moving.
5 minutes, 15 seconds left in the 3rd. On 2nd and short, it's over the middle. The H-back was held up. Dwayne Young, and a flag finally comes out. Dwayne Young complaining he was all locked up with Percy Snow, the inside backer. It's going to be a first down for San Diego. Another conference. Look out. It may not be a first down for San Diego. Dwayne Young in his 2nd year for Michigan State. But the litigation paid off. And now Humphreys really upset. And
there
now
is no ball. The ball was uncatchable.
They say the ball was not a catchable one. Well, when you got Percy Snow in your way, I guess you can't get to it. Let's take another look, Beasley.
You know, you can take a look at Percy Snow and take a look at him moving over. Does he bump Dwayne Young? You know, that's the big question. I think he blocks him, but Snow is arguing that he had no idea that that was going to be the situation.
Ball's in the air. Pretty obvious penalty. 3rd and short now. Instead of the automatic first down, they're blitzing Humphreys. Pressure comes. He holds up, and he's got Derek Walker for the first down. Walker into Kansas City territory to the Chiefs 48.
Well, you would never expect the H-backs to be the ones that come in and save the day, but so far they have for Humphries. As he goes back here, he simply, everything is clear for him. The vision is clear. He steps up, he gets good protection this time, and look what he can do. I'm sure Stan would love to have that kind of time every play.
They picked up the blitz very effectively. Now it's a first down at the 48 of Kansas City with Anthony Miller in motion. The two tight ends are over to the right side. Play action for Humphries looking. He wanted to go deep to Miller. Now he's got time, and he's got Walker wide open. Walker's got another first down inside the 35. They put him at the 33. This is the longest drive of the day for the San Diego Chargers. It started back at their 20-yard line.
You know what? All of a sudden, he's got time. Take a look at Anthony Miller on this route. Runs, and then he turns it on. He thinks he's open. But, sometimes they think they're open. They raise their hands, and they go crazy like that. But when the quarterback's looking the complete opposite direction, the defenders will relax sometimes. All of a sudden, Stan Humphries has time. He's got time to throw the ball.
That is the key. 13-0 Kansas City. San Diego starting to drive. First down from the 33 and another first down pass. Ronnie Harmon has it. The stiff arm is effective. And he goes inside the 25.
Now that's an option play for Harmon. Sometimes he's got the option to break out or break in. Do whatever you need to do to get open. That was excellent communication between quarterback and receiver. See Derrick Thomas trying to make the play there. It's tough when the guy can turn inside or outside.
That last pass was to Ronnie Harmon, but don't forget Albert Lewis, who's out for the day with an injured left wrist. The four-time Pro Bowler. Instead now it's Dale Carter, and he's matching up with Nate Lewis on second and a couple. Lewis looking against Carter, and it's batted away by Carter, and a flag on the play. Did he put the right arm up before the left hand knocked the ball away? Did he grab the shoulder with the right arm?
You know what? It started out with a great move by Lewis. I mean, this is one that is so close. Oh!
Interference and another first down for San Diego.
That was so very close. But the referee was right there. Now, this was a great move by Lewis on the right side. He took him to the outside, broke inside quickly, and let's see. Looks like he might have been riding him with that right hand first and then reaching over with the left.
But you know, it couldn't be a makeup call from what happened to Dwayne Young over the middle. It couldn't be. First down, deepest penetration of the day for the San Diego Chargers at the Kansas City 14.
If they score here, it's a football game.
Exactly 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Plenty of time. And a wide open Walker at the 5. He'll take it in. Touchdown, San Diego. No flags this time. Well, after dropping his first try of the day, Walker's held on to everything ever since.
Well, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, Stan Humphries has time. All of a sudden, he has a selection process to go through. There's 1, 2, 2, 3 receivers open. This time, Walker's wide open.
The second touchdown of the season for Derrick Walker.
And here's another look at it. You see how wide open the quarterback is, first of all, and then how wide open Walker is. He's got reason to celebrate there, the 14-yard touchdown.
John Kidd in for the point after. And it's only a 6-point difference now between Kansas City and San Diego. An 80-yard drive for the Chargers, 13-7 Chiefs. Derrick Walker had the 14-yard touchdown reception, but let's also remember, for the first time today, San Diego started to throw the ball on first down as opposed to the straight handoff to Marian Butts. We've talked about the swirling winds. It was an 80-yard drive, but it seemed like every time on first down, Humphries was back to throw as opposed to the basic handoff to Butts.
It was just a super job, and it was a change in what they were thinking when they came into this football game. They were determined to establish the run. They stayed with that a long time, which is a credit to the coaching staff. And then when they needed a change, they did it and got a great drive.
But at the same time, as we have time now again, thank you, from the win, and they'll have to hold the ball now finally for John Kearney. At the same time, it seems like you're playing into the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. They're so strong now even because they went to the 43 front to work against the run. you're playing into their hands if you just play smash mouth football.
And that is probably the adjustment. You know, we talked right before the half. We said, okay, what is San Diego going to do defensively? What are they going to do offensively to get back in this game? Well, I think that's a credit to coaching, to Bobby Ross and what they decided to do with Bill Arnsparger. The defense has shut these guys out in the second half, and the offense has said, look, like you said, Joel, they've got 4 linemen. Let's pass the ball a little bit.
Finally, it's underway. The high end over-ender from the 10 for Harvey Williams. He returned the last one to the 40-yard line, this time only the 22. So this is actually poor field position now for Kansas City. Their first 2 possessions the second half, they started with the 40 and the 46.
You know what? You want to see a guy that makes his money doing anything a coach asked him to do? Look at Steve Hendrickson, barreling down. Look at every muscle in his body out tight as he searches out his point. But boy, that's a hard way to make a life for yourself.
You know what his teammates call him? Caveman, Neanderthal man, because that's all he cares about is football. He is so focused. Steve Hendrickson.
Tough way to make a living.
First down, Kansas City. Now leading by only 6 at Okoye. Nothing doing on the right side. A yard with a 23, and you can hear how they feel about the play calling.
Well, you know, I think we think momentum right now. We say what's going on when it comes to momentum. You know, all of a sudden the SD offense comes here and drives it down their throat. Now the defense comes up with a pretty good play. Sometimes that momentum can change in just a few minutes.
The 2 defensive units dominated the day until that last drive, the longest drive of the day for either side by San Diego. What a tough day it's been for Okoye. Anders joins him, movement on the line.
Momentum. I'm telling you.
79 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
The left guard lifted up in his 3rd year from Penn State. 5-yard mark-off. It's going to be 2nd and 14.
You can dig yourself such a hole. You can dig yourself such a hole. Take a look at the right-hand side of your screen. Just too eager to make that block. It must have been a complicated block. Looked like it was a hole block, maybe.
Too kind. 2nd and long, play action for Craig. He's pressured, just barely gets it away. Did a good job with the lineman draped on his back. That was Chris Mims again, the rookie from Tennessee.
Now, I think David had Willie Davis on the left-hand side of the field. He just held the trigger too long. See, you got time. That's enough time. That's enough time to make a football play right there. After a while, nobody can block Mims or anybody else more than about 2.5 to 3.1 or 2 seconds. That's all you should need.
So now 3rd and long for the Chiefs. They are 4 of 11 in 3rd down conversions after going 1 of 10 on 3rd downs in their last game against Pittsburgh. A 27-3 setback. An embarrassment as far as they're concerned. And Craig has a man out of the backfield. McNair, can he get there? No, he's short the marker on 3rd and 14. So San Diego gets it right back with an opportunity to win that war of field position, even a little more so.
And that's the big war. That is the big war. San Diego is stuck in bad field position. Now this is another big tackle by Van Horst. We talked about him breaking down in front of McNair earlier, and at this time he comes up and makes a, you know, he's got to stop him before the 1st down, and he gets it done. Van Horst, just a super tackle.
Pressure continues for Brian Barker. Sends out a beauty. Plenty of field to work with this time. Nate Lewis backpedaling from the 12. They set it up on the left side, and it takes too long to develop with a flag down the play. Lewis is down close to the 23.
Now the question is, could they shoot themselves in the foot with a clip or something here? That was a super kick, by the way, by Brian Barker. That was a 60-yard boot. And boy, did he need it. You know, he's responding. He's under pressure right now. He's responding to the call.
So instead of starting with the ball at the 22, take it back now. Point of the penalty was the 20-yard line.
On the left-hand side of your screen, you'll get the infraction coming up.
Team on the run back. 10-yard
was it,
penalty.
that pile falling
First
down
down.
on the run back. There it is right there. See the block right in the back. Right there.
It's at the 10-yard line. Washington had problems early. They were tied at 3 at halftime with Seattle. Now they've stretched it out to a 13-point advantage. Last time the Chargers had the ball, they drove 80 yards for their first score of the day, and they are throwing it on first down deep in their own territory. The H-back's there, and Walker can't hang on. He got beyond the linebacker, Lonnie Martz.
Boy, he'll think about that one a long time. That's one of those when they go in on Monday to look at the game films, you sit the entire day worried about that particular play coming up. That was a huge opportunity. Now look how close this is. It's a perfect pass. It's in the perfect spot. But man, Derrick, he's made some great plays, but that would have been a big one.
Take those gloves off, he probably would have had it.
Well, a lot of people say that.
They love those gloves. 2nd and 10 from the 10. 58 seconds left in the third quarter. Humphreys looking deep for Sean Jefferson behind his man. He got behind Dale Carter, who's in there for Albert Lewis. First down, San Diego at the 39 of Kansas City. 51 yards on the reception.
Suddenly, San Diego is waking up, and they went back. They turned back the pages of time. Man, they went back to that passing, what we know San Diego for historically, and what a great throw and a great catch.
You talk about the old days.
Yes.
Air Coryell. Well, Don Coryell was working with Joe Gibbs. He had Joe Gibbs on his staff a couple of times, and he went into the Washington Redskins camp in preseason, and he said before Humphreys left, he thought Stan Humphreys was their quarterback of the future, the Washington Redskins, before the trade to San Diego. Not a bad endorsement. Miller, that was the target.
Well, smart play by Humphreys there. Very smart play. He's in trouble. And instead of trying to make a miracle, he simply says, okay, things are too tight here. Let me get rid of it.
And just a little love tap from Neil Smith.
Well, you know, that's why the quarterbacks get the big money.
2nd and 10. The words of a former defensive back.
That's why. That's it. If you want to be the star, there's some price to be paid.
Finally, San Diego went up top. And they're burning the secondary of the Kansas City Chiefs, a secondary that's operating with a couple of new safeties this year. Remember, Deron Cherry was here forever, not this season. Humphreys throwing again, and Harmon wasn't ready. It almost looked like he was surprised it came to him after he sprung away from the linebacker.
Yeah, he appeared to not have his balance completely together when he came back for the ball, but you know, once again, Stan has time to set up. Take a look at Derrick Thomas here. He's coming on. Is that drawing attention? Hey, you know, at some point they had to say, let's neutralize this guy. You can't let one man embarrass you like Derrick Thomas did the first half.
But as Neil Smith told us yesterday with 1 second left in the third quarter, when they doubled on Derrick, I love it. Means I'm a single on the opposite side.
Well, this is his chance because they're doubling up on him.
3rd and 10 movement. Up 3 down, I was about to say, but it's a dead ball foul coming up. They lift it up on the left side of the line.
Ball start. Number 72 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
But Harry Swain's not thinking about Derrick Thomas at all.
See, that's Derrick Thomas can make plays without even there being a play. There's no play. There's no play. There's no play recorded. But Derrick Thomas made that play by forcing Harry Swain to jump. Worried about the speed of the outside rush of Derrick Thomas. That'll never show up in the stats.
9th penalty against San Diego, costing them 62 yards in infractions. Humphreys on 3rd and 15 has time. Miller has the grab for a first down. Anthony Miller with a great reception diving down on the turf at the 26 on the final play of the third quarter. The drive continues when we return through San Diego. They're down to Kansas City by only 6.
I want everybody to take a look at this reception. That's where it's going, right there. Now watch this. This is a major league, big-time catch. Can you believe that by Anthony Miller? That's a great grab. Big-time first down.
And again, Stan Humphries looking in the direction of the rookie cornerback. Dale Carter is in there for the injured Albert Lewis. Counter, Marian Butts. Tripped up in the backfield by Derrick Thomas. He gets 2 down to the 24 on the first play of the fourth quarter.
Now watch Derrick Thomas again, this time kind of spying, looking, searching, bouncing off of people. He gets the trip up. Boy, he's doing it all. Doing it all.
Call it a gain of only a yard if you joined us late. Derrick Thomas was the story of the first half. 4 sacks, 2 of the sacks. He forced fumbles. And 10 of the 13 points for the Kansas City Chiefs today, a direct result of those turnovers created by Derrick Thomas. Second and just about 9. Deep drop for Humphries with time. Has a man. Walker. Will he hang on? No! Do you believe it? How many chances do you get on one pass?
Well, those are like eight drops right there. Man. You know, Humphries is putting the ball on the money, folks. He's putting the ball on the money. Well, Derrick is playing a great game, but he's had 2 that he'd love to see again. Now, Humphries knows he's got it. He says, I've got it. No, I don't have it. Oh, man. Boy, he's putting the ball on the dime.
Now 3rd and 9. Can the Chiefs defense come up big? Deep drop for Humphries again. A wide open Ronnie Harmon. He won't drop it. He's got it inside the 5. Is he in? No, he's just short of the goal line, inside the 1.
Now listen, before the half, we talked about adjustments. And man, I mean, San Diego obviously figured out a way to get some time for Stan Humphries. What a perfect throw. Does he get in? No. No, he's out.
Good call by the official.
Call by the official.
Benny Thompson was the burned one, the victim of Ronnie Harmon's.
Well, you know, it's hard to think that San Diego will come in this game not doubling up on Derrick Thomas. Now, that's what they've done. He's drawn a lot of attention in this second half, and Stan Humphries miraculously has time all of a sudden.
Butts on 1st and goal. Diving, he's in. Touchdown, San Diego. They are an extra point away from taking their first lead of the day. That is a 90-yard drive for the San Diego Chargers.
That's big time. I mean, that's scoring points the hard way. 90 yards of passing and a little running, well mixed up. And then a team that has the resolve to stay focused after Derrick misses the ball in the corner. They come right back to Ronnie Harmon on the other side, and he makes a great catch. And look at Bobby Ross. Way to go, guy.
This is not the same team I saw in Houston about 4 or 5 weeks ago. It was actually 5 weeks ago. And they lost the Oilers 27-0. And now they have their first lead of the day on the John Carney extra point. 2 touchdowns in the second half for San Diego. And it's now the Chargers 14 and the Chiefs 13. John Carney kicks it away for San Diego. And it finds the end zone on a low line drive. So Kansas City will start with it down by a point at their own 20.
All right, let's take a look at the San Diego touchdown. First of all, we'll get Richards blocking out this side along with Courtney Hall. The lead blocker, Henderson, will block out this way, and baby, it's a walk in the park for the running back. Take a look at it. No penetration whatsoever, and I could run that touchdown. How about that?
Don't get carried away. We told you at the top of the telecast these 2 teams were tied for second place in the AFC West with identical records of 4-4. They needed some help from the New York Jets. Well, the Jets are trailing by 4 to Denver now, 20-16 with under 12 minutes left in that game at Mile High. Craig on first down, not close to the intended target, Jonathan Hayes, who was out earlier in the first half with a sprained right ankle. They went to the locker room, retaped it. He's back in there, but that was a rushed play all the way by Dave Craig.
It was rushed, it was disjointed, and the fans did not appreciate it. And all of a sudden, they've gone from the tomahawk chops here to a few boos perhaps, in my opinion, turning a little bit too soon on this team. We've got a super football game going, and they still need that home field advantage here in Kansas City if they plan to stay in it.
You saw those dismal numbers for Craig today with only 5 completions. Last game against Pittsburgh, he was only 9 of 29 for 50-plus yards. So the offensive slump continues for the Kansas City Chiefs. The defense has set them up for most of their points today. Craig on 2nd and 10, and it's knocked away by the defensive back Donald Frank. Fred Jones thought there was interference on the play.
And that was just, I don't know that I throw the ball there. I think it was a double zone, which, and if it was a double zone, Donald Frank's only job is to stand there in that flat. So he's supposed to make that play. He's supposed to make that play all day long. I'm sure there was another option available.
3rd and 10 now. Only 1 first down in the second half for the Kansas City Chiefs. 13 minutes and 14 seconds left in the contest. Craig out of the shotgun. Has time over the middle. It should have been intercepted by Carrington. He was looking for Jim Barnett.
Everybody situation. Hey, everybody had that ball. There were 2 or 3 defensive backs that had that ball. It just, Dave looked at it too long and threw it. See, he looked at it, and threw it. Look, it's like a fight. Donald Byrd thought he had it. Carrington had it. Everybody had it.
So another punt for Brian Parker, this time without the wind aiding him. It's a swirling wind. Before it was at his back in the 3rd. He still sends out a wobbler and a high one. And a fair catch called for by Gil Byrd back there. Haven't seen Gil in punt returning duties in quite some time. Be back with the Chargers with the ball at the 34. San Diego clinging to that 1-point lead. Yesterday, Stan Humphries, their quarterback, told us they thought they had a chance in the first game. In the 4th quarter, they were trailing to the Chiefs 17-10. But the Chiefs held on to the ball with a 9-minute drive in the 4th quarter. Now, they don't need a 9-minute drive, but they need a long drive. It butts out of the backfield. He gets it up to the 40, a gain of 6 on first down. And that's what Stan Humphries emphasized to us in our meeting yesterday, that they need long drives, ball possession drives. Well, they've done exactly that, Beasley, in the second half. A drive of 80 yards, and their last one to take the lead was 90 yards.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure to put on an offense. They need a play. They need a punt return. They're really both teams do, and that's obvious when you got a real tight football game like this. Another point I'd like to bring up is in this 4-3 defense, all of a sudden, as I was watching Derrick Thomas, he was dropping out into the flat in this defense, not free to rush. And as a result, Humphries has time.
He's rushing this time, but it's a run for Marian Butts. He's short of the first down. Going down at the 43, short by only a yard, though. So they took Thomas out of the play because he was rushing right side and going outside.
And see, in the 4-man front, he has that definite responsibility. He's got to stay outside. He's got to keep containment. It takes away from some of the freedom, the freelancing that he's able to do.
And now on 3rd, only a yard. The big ones come in. And Derrick Thomas is headed over the sideline. Tough going today for Marian Butts. He'll try to pick up a yard. Will he get the first down? It's a fumble, loose ball. Kansas City says they have it. No official word yet. And the Chiefs come out of the pile with the ball. It's Dan Saliamua with the ball. Finally, it's Kansas City's ball.
Let's take a look and see if we can find it. There's a handoff. Well, it's all covered up. All we can see is there's that late hit coming in, the cleanup hit. The cleanup hit by Charles Mincy is what makes it happen. Look at Mincy. He puts his helmet right on it. That's one of those big plays. That's hustling to the football.
So now, Kansas City has it once again in San Diego territory. But don't forget, they've only got 1 first down in the entire second half. They start with the Chargers' 44-yard line. 11.5 minutes left in the contest. Craig is changing the play at the line. And it's Okoye to his favorite side, the right side. He gets 3 down to the 41. Still, though, the fans not happy with their first down calls in Kansas City today.
Nope, they didn't like that call at all. They're looking for a little, not razzle-dazzle, but, you know, they figure on first down you got to be a little more creative. But, you know, you think about it, in this field position, it's not bad if you can get 3.5 to 4 on a pop. You do that twice, and you have the kind of third down situation you want. 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3.
2nd and 6 from the 41. Another one for Okoye. Not much available up the middle. Another 3 to the 38.
You know, still, we're still hearing the boo birds here in Arrowhead Stadium, but I'm telling you, these are the type of third downs you want. You can manage 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3. There are things in your playbook you can call with that. It's still not bad.
You see that Denver score. They're still clinging to that 4-point lead and trying to hold on to the top spot in the AFC Western Division.
Okay, now we're crazy. San Diego and anybody in this stadium, we're all crazy if you're not watching Todd McNair and thinking about that, or looking at the top of your screen at some type of pick play.
Biggest third down of the day for Kansas City. 3rd and 4 from the 38. Craig has time, going deep, and just off the fingertips of Tim Barnett. Now a decision for Marty Schottenheimer. And it won't take long. They'll bring on the punting unit. They will not go for it. If they fail, it'd be superb field position for San Diego the other way.
Todd McNair was standing over on the right side in the flat with his hand on his hip looking over at the coaching staff, and I wonder what was going through his mind because he was standing by himself.
Well, now we've been talking about Brian Barker and his job on the line. They brought in some punters over the last couple of weeks. Can he get the ball out of bounds or get it to die inside the 10? Gilbert is back there due to a minor injury to Nate Lewis. So Bird waiting back at the 10-yard line. It's right down the middle.
That's a good kick. Wait a minute. That's a good kick. If they hustle.
Can they get to it? No.
That's not his fault. You know, and that they try to do the picket fence in that situation. You're supposed to sprint down, turn your back to the goal line, and bat it down.
Did the Kansas City Chiefs get a little greedy? McNair was down there.
They could have caught that ball, but they decided to try to let it bounce, but a ball might bounce anywhere, and it dove out of bounds quickly.
Now it's 1st and 10 to the 20. Butts breaking a tackle out of the backfield, but a flag is down on the play, normally where you see a hold.
And, you know, the punter, Brian Barker, on that last punt thought he had it. He thought he had put it right on the money, was waiting on his guys to stop it. He said, no! As it went into the end zone.
Penalty coming up on San Diego, the last thing they needed.
Holding, number 77 on the offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the left guard in his 2nd season out of Michigan State, Eric Moten. 10th penalty against the Chargers today. You can't say enough about the defensive unit. Bill Arnsparger and the San Diego Chargers, though. They have shut out Kansas City the entire second half. And they were a victim of their own offense in the first half when they trailed 13-0. 9:34 left, and do they have to stop the clock and use a timeout? Yes.
You know what? I don't think they had enough 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, confusion.
Yeah, I don't believe they had enough people on the field.
And you know that guy who is not there, that one
and here
player.
he comes.
He does not want to run on the field. Back to the 10-yard line for the Chargers. You can see it's basically what we expected. Not much offense from either team, and most of the offense for San Diego, almost all of it, coming in the second half by way of the pass. No passing attack, though, at all today for the Kansas City Chiefs and quarterback Dave Craig. 1st and 20 from the 10. Plenty of time for Humphreys. It's Ronnie Harmon, but he's wrapped up in a hurry. Benny Thompson got him as soon as he took in that 5-yard reception at the 15.
Now that time they sent Butts in motion, and he went over there and he helped block Derrick Thomas. That's why we haven't heard from Derrick Thomas. Now Harmon this time moves backwards and actually loses about 3 yards. But if you're wondering where in the second half has Derrick Thomas gone, that's not the question. The question is, where's Neil Smith, where's Danny Sully-Moore, where are all those other guys that are being singled?
They've gotten away from the 43 for the most part and gone back to the Okie. The 34 where Thomas is rushing again on this down. On 2nd and 15 with flags in the air. Humphreys is low on his delivery. The intended target, that was Walker, the H-back at the 21. But was there procedure on the play? The 11th penalty against San Diego. Well, if they don't pick up the first down with 8:45 left, the Chiefs stand to get the ball in exceptional field position.
On the offense, 2 men moving at the same time. Penalty is declined.
We're not close enough to Canada for that to work. But the point being, after the punt, which would come close to their own end zone, then Kansas City is only a first down or 2 away from taking the lead on a Nick Lowry field goal. Third and 15 as the penalty was declined. Third down conversions today. 3 of 11. The dump off for Harmon makes the first man miss. Still on his feet. He's got the first down and he's on his way. And he still hasn't been touched. Finally, they get him at the 47. Ronnie Harmon.
Major. That was a big league, major, big time, 32-yard gain of a football play. Stan Humphreys celebrating, giving him a little high five. And this is special. Let's just take a look at this. Move. There's 3 people missing. There's the 4th person missing for the 2nd time. There's the 5th person getting a block. And nobody tackles a guy. Like the 40-yard line tackles him.
He tripped over his tackle, Harry Swain's leg.
What a play. And what a player.
They spotted officially at the 46. First down, San Diego. Under 8 minutes remaining. They just want to keep the clock moving. Marian Butts does more than that. He gets 5 on the carry. The 49 of Kansas City.
Joel, this goes back to your point about how the last time they played together, Kansas City went on a 9-minute drive. Now, what if San Diego could sustain one? I'm sure that they're thinking that right here. That's how they got killed the last time. Maybe they can turn the tables.
An injured Charger. Difficult. There it is, Marian Butts. And they are thin at the running back position with Bieniemy out today. They don't want to use him. He's active. And Bernstein is on the shelf on injured reserve. So Ronnie Harmon then would be the featured back if Butts can't continue. But better to be in a 1-point lead than trailing at this point, losing your starting tailback in the single set formation. Although Butts runs like a fullback with that kind of power. And he appears to be okay, fortunately, for the Chargers. Eric Bieniemy now has the jacket off if needed.
He was supposed to only play in emergency, and I think that emergency might be here.
Well, Ronnie Harmon comes in with this snap for Marian Butts after the 5-yard gain by Butts. And the clock continues to roll against Kansas City. 7:15 and counting. 2nd and 5 from the 49. It's Harmon dancing his way, cutting it back. And he's close to the first down, just short by about a half yard.
Ronnie Harmon has tremendous first step explosion. He can go from point A to point B, be it left, right, north, south, east, west. It's just a step. Watch this movement. Let me show you the surge. Bam! There's one, and then boom! That little step right there. The small steps that are quick enough to make you arm tackle when you thought you had him lined up to go with the shoulder tackle.
Now, you might remember the last time they had it 3rd and 1, San Diego coughed up the ball after Mincy put his helmet on the ball on the run by Marian Butts. Now they've got it 3rd and less than a yard. Just the nose of the ball inside the 45. Harmon out of the backfield. Can he get there? I believe he's short. I think he's short of the first down. He needed to get it right on the 44-yard line.
Well, they put an H-back in the backfield to give him added blocking power. They'll do the measurement, and the problem, you know, some people say with a back like Ronnie Harmon in this situation, their instinct that, you know, they know not to go east and west in this situation, but instinct will make them bounce outside or stutter or throw a move when maybe you should drop your shoulder and power forward. So he comes very close, very close.
Funny situation now.
No, wow.
Although Stan Humphries wants to backpedal his way back onto the field,
yeah,
but they say, Stan, you stay here.
I would have thought about going for that one.
Dale Carter will go back, waiting for the punt from John Kidd. So that is twice now on third down. San Diego could not maintain possession. The 11 penalties haven't helped either.
Well, I guess the thinking is that the San Diego defense has shut them out the entire time in the second half, so why not put the pressure on the defense to do it one more time? Smart thinking.
Now can Kidd find a sideline or get it to Dye as well? Something Parker failed to do the last time for Kansas City. Down the middle it goes. Carter staying away from it, and it's into the end zone. So not exactly an auspicious day for either punter. And a break for Kansas City instead of getting it inside their own 10. They've got it first down to their own 20, but they've only got one first down in the entire second half, trailing by a point with 5:42 left in the fourth.
Well, this is it. It's time to play offense if you're Kansas City. Time to play defense if you're San Diego. Doesn't get any better than this. San Diego defense doing very well in the second half, and they're holding hands in a huddle right now because this is the challenge. This is where you prove you're number one in the AFC as a defense.
Just about every possession today, they've started with a run by Okoye. Let's see what they try on first down at their own 20, inside of 6 minutes remaining. McNair in motion. And they're throwing. Wide of McNair. It's incomplete. It's second and 10. Pressure from Seau again.
And Chris Mims. Seau and Mims, they've played big all day long. Mims coming from the outside, swinging the hand, and Seau coming up also.
And this is a very young San Diego defensive unit that we've been talking about all day. Grossman, who's been injured and is gone for the day in his fourth year. Seau's only in his third year out of USC. Then you got Mims, the rookie from Tennessee. Leslie O'Neal, believe it or not, he's only in his sixth season. Their safeties are first and second year players. Good days ahead, and they're great ones already for this defensive unit of Bill Arnsparger. Second and 10 from the 20. Over the middle, what a grab. Did he take it in? No whistle yet. They kept saying run with it. That's J.J. Burton. Boy, delayed by the officiating crew. If it's a reception, he was never touched.
Well, let's see. Was it a reception? That's the big question. Well, that's hard to tell. Hard to tell.
Still, there was no whistle when Burton got up.
Yep.
Well, they'll take the first down at 35. But after the defensive back, Van Horst was saying no catch, no catch. Burton could have headed on downfield. Craig throwing on first down. Okoye in an awkward position. And it'll be second and 10.
Well, David is yelling something out at him.
So now it's going to be second and long. And we'd like to welcome those of you joining us from the Buffalo Bills victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. 4:48 left. And the San Diego Chargers, looking for their fifth straight victory, lead the Kansas City Chiefs 14-13. Arnsparger's defensive unit of San Diego's has been exceptional today. Second and 10 for Craig and the Chiefs. The reception. Willie Davis has it. It's a first down for the Chiefs at the 47.
Well, let's take a look at that route. It was a very, very good one. And once again, Craig had time to stop, go back, and throw. Byrd slips. A good stop, a superior stop by Willie Davis. Both athletes running full speed. Davis able to stop.
The Chiefs with Marty Schottenheimer have tried to run the ball all day with little or almost no success. Now down with under 5 minutes remaining. No choice but to put it in the air. So first down outside of the 46. Delay for Harvey Williams, the second-year man out of LSU, slithers his way inside San Diego territory. Down to the 47, short of the first down by about 3. Well, they power their way with Okoye, and then they bring in Harvey Williams, their first-round draft choice last year, who has not carried the ball. He's only averaged 2 carries a game over the first 8 games of the season. A little more work this afternoon, but not much more. Clock continues to roll. Second and a long 3, just about 4. Williams is the single set. Craig has it batted up into the air, and it falls incomplete. Donald Frank diving for it. Chris Mims looked like he got a piece of the ball.
Well, he was the one that was pumping his fist on the ground. Let's see who got it. There's Mims getting the right hand up very quickly at the end. Here's a better angle and a better look at it. The step. And there's Mims with a great little bat.
And it's been another outstanding day for the first-round draft choice for the San Diego Chargers. Mims in there due to the injury earlier. The starting end, Bert Grossman. Mims had a couple of sacks last week. He's been in Craig's face the entire second half today. Craig on third down. Underthrows J.J. Burden.
Once again, there's a lot of things flashing in front of Dave Craig. He had to side on that one almost.
Well, they're bringing Barker out. This is the surprise with under 4 minutes remaining, 3 minutes and 52 seconds. The Chargers lead it by a point. Marty Schottenheimer, feeling his defensive unit, will get the ball back for him once again. He's going to punt it away to San Diego. Now can Barker finally get the ball out of bounds or get it to die deep in San Diego territory. Bird waiting for the punt back at the 10. The high wobbler. Bird let it sail over his head, and it finds the end zone again. Another break for San Diego.
Well, that's a tough call. That's a tough call. When you're looking at 3rd and 4 or 5, you ask yourself that question. I mean, on 4th and 4 or 5, you ask yourself, man, should I go for it? And this one was also close. Take a look here. Just almost. You get that hand and bat it back inside, and you're the hero. Del Carter lying down on the red now saying, man.
So now San Diego run out the clock. Marian Butts left with a minor injury. He is not returning. It's Ronnie Harmon in the backfield. Harmon will try the left side. And he gets just about 3 up to the 23. A number of injuries for both sides today. With Bernstein gone, he's on injured reserve. As a timeout is called by Kansas City. They have 2 left now with 3 minutes and 34 seconds. We'll be right back to Kansas City to see if San Diego can hang on to the ball. It's a 2nd and 7 coming up for San Diego. Now each team with 2 timeouts remaining. For those of you that joined us just a few minutes ago from the Pittsburgh-Buffalo matchup, Humphreys had to use one early in the 4th quarter. Infusion by the offensive unit. He is throwing on 2nd and 7. Has a man over the middle, and it's behind Ronnie Harmon. Normally, though, Ronnie Harmon comes up with that pass.
That's still a catchable ball for Ronnie Harmon. Just a little bit behind him, and probably, see, the thing about Ronnie is he thinks about making moves all the time. Like he's probably thinking about catching and facing the defense. Now, once again, although Stan has plenty of time here, and it collapses at the end with Neil Smith, but still, he had plenty of time to stand in, find his guy, and flick it over there.
Can Kansas City come up big on 3rd down? San Diego only 4 of 14 in 3rd down conversions today. It's a 3rd and 7 from the Chargers 23. Humphreys buys time, and it dropped by the H-back. He would have been short of the first down anyway. Wanted Derek Walker. Mincy was draped all over his back along with the backer, and that was Chris Martin, a linebacker. So the gamble does work for Marty Schottenheimer. He put the pressure on his defensive unit, and they came through. 3 minutes, 25 seconds left. 2 timeouts remaining for each team.
You know, we expected this to be a defensive battle, and both defenses have come up and risen to a 4th down challenge.
Dale Carter waiting for the punt. He returned a punt in the opening game of the season, 46 yards for a touchdown against San Diego. They only need a field goal to take the lead. It's a high wobbler and a fair catch called for by Carter. Carter roughed up, but actually it was his own man that was blocked into him. So now Kansas City will have it. 1st and 10 at their own 33. And we'd also like to welcome those of you that were just watching the Denver Broncos 27-16 victory over the New York Jets. Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. And 3 minutes and 18 seconds remain. Can the Kansas City Chiefs finally get their act together offensively? They've only got 4 first downs in the second half. They've been shut out by this outstanding Charger defensive unit in the entire second half. Out of the shotgun, Craig has time. He's hit. The ball is caught by Tim Barnett. And he's close to the first down marker. Was it Chris Mims again? I believe Mims got the arm.
Well, that's when everything is going your way. You know, that ball is up in the air. Anybody can get it and take a look at the route. First of all, see, he's just lucky here. He's standing there waiting on a curl and goes up and it's like he's catching a punt.
2nd and a yard. It's for Barnett. Early contact, but no flag. Gilbert on the back of Tim Barnett. And now that, yes, it was a reception, but no flag regardless. Barnett's got the first down to the 49. Clock continues to roll. 2 minutes and 23 seconds left. There have been other situations with plenty of contact by the defensive backs today.
You know, once again, David Craig now has the time to step and throw, and he puts it right on the money. Good coverage by Gilbert.
Some kind of grab by Barnett. Craig with time over the middle. Has his man. It's complete. Willie Davis down to the 25. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Chiefs could take the lead on a Lowry field goal. They're already well into that position as we come back to Arrowhead.
In this particular defense, Junior Seau is responsible for working this area. As soon as he recognizes the route and picks up the receiver, he's to force the quarterback to throw it high, giving the safeties time to get over. That's a perfect throw. You see the safeties coming in a little bit late.
So with 2 minutes remaining, it sets up a 1st and 10 for Kansas City at the San Diego 25-yard line. Harvey Williams is in the backfield. They're already well within the range of a Nick Lowry field goal. Will they keep it on the ground or go up top? It'll be Williams. He's got a couple to the 23.
But from this point on, Joel, it's simply time management. They will run it and bleed that clock and hope to leave just enough time for Nick Lowry to work his magic.
Lowry has only missed 2 field goals all season. He is 15 of 17 on the year. He's hit 2 today from 47 yards and 35 yards. So obviously he is not being bothered by the groin injury that forced him to miss the last game, the 27-3 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2nd and 8. It's from the 23 of the Chargers. Okoye takes over for Williams in the backfield. And Okoye gets 3 to the 20. So they're just setting things up. And San Diego still has 2 timeouts left. Somewhat surprised maybe they didn't stop the clock after that last run by Harvey Williams. Now finally, the Chargers do call timeout. With 1 remaining, we'll be right back to Arrowhead Stadium. Welcome back to Kansas City. Joel Myers along with Beasley Reese. San Diego leading by a point. You joined us late today. 10 of the 13 points scored by the Chiefs were set up as the direct result of turnovers that were forced by linebacker Derrick Thomas as he knocked the ball away from Stan Humphries twice.
You know, we were just looking at Nick Lowry in front of a heater, in front of a blower. He pulled that groin muscle, so he's trying to get that groin loose and hot from the front and back. There's a gigantic blower that he's standing in front of.
One timeout remaining for San Diego. 64 seconds left. And a 3rd and 5 with Okoye, the single set. And another yard and another timeout coming up for San Diego. So it's going to be up to Nick Lowry. Can he give the Chiefs the lead? He is the most accurate place kicker in NFL history.
Well, he's the guy that you want kicking it, but as I watch him walk around, I'm holding my breath. I mean, that's got to be a tough duty. There he is in front of that big blower again. One last blast on that groin. It's like, you know, it's like putting a heating pad on it. You can get in front of that big gasoline, kerosene blower to warm your leg up.
Denver already won. So they will maintain their lead in the AFC West. Both the Chiefs and Chargers came in with identical records of 4-4. But San Diego had all the momentum, and they owned the second half. Marty Schottenheimer's offensive unit never materialized today. They only threw the ball when they had to, and most of that came on their final drive. And now it's going to come out of the hole to Brian Barker, the punter.
Everybody in the stadium's on their feet right now.
It's a 36-yard try by Lowry to give Kansas City the lead. They led at one point 13-0. They trail now 14-13. 58 seconds left. Can he do it? It's good. The 36-yarder by Lowry. We'll be right back to Arrowhead. Let's head to New York first, though, and join Bob Costas in NFL Live. Thank you, Bob. A 16-14 lead, and that was the 300th field goal of the career of Nick Lowry. That ties him for 5th place on the all-time list, along with the former Redskin place kicker, Mark Mosley.
You know, this has got to be a happy moment, and what a way to tie for the all-time lead. Look at the emotion. And here's his coach.
Anthony Miller, the home run threat for San Diego, will not bring it back. Lowry doing it all. The field goal and a long kickoff into the end zone.
Kickoff into the end zone.
Remember now, San Diego is out of timeouts. And don't forget, their place kicker, John Carney, has hit some long ones in his career as well. In fact, he had a 54-yarder last year. But Lowry right now, the man of the hour for Kansas City.
Now, you know, Joe, this is that situation where everybody gets crazy when they start talking about prevent defense. But they'll give them maybe 2 plays here. They'll play a soft, conservative zone for maybe 2, then switch.
Pocket holds up for Humphries, going to the sideline. Ronnie Harmon, I believe he got the first down. Yes, and gets out of bounds across the 30. Heads up play by Harmon, the former Iowa Hawkeye.
All right, I'd give them one more. I'd give them one more soft zone, and then I'd start considering changing to a more aggressive defensive style. But it's execution when it comes to prevent defense. It's people. It's not the defense itself.
Humphries, who's been hot in the second half.
If they're playing the prevent well, you see the ball caught in front and then people coming up to attack.
First down from outside the 30. Pressure coming, and they've got Humphries. It was the linebacker, check that, Billy Moss, who did not start today. He's been coming off the bench in spot duty, the veteran out of the University of Pittsburgh. The sack back to the 22, the clock rolling inside 35 seconds on 2nd and long. Again, they get to Humphries, gets it away in time, and it's intercepted. Dale Carter, the rookie, filling in for the injured Albert Lewis, seals it for Kansas City. Humphreys was belted as he released the ball. Leonard Griffin got to him.
Well, the world was collapsing around Stan Humphreys, and just as he lets this go, everybody slaps him and twists him around. And you know, here, the wide receiver, Miller, should have become a defender. He should have been stripping and pulling, even taking a penalty to make sure that he couldn't intercept that ball.
The executive producer of NBC Sports is Terry O'Neill. Our producer for today's telecast, Terry Ewert, and our director, Ned Tate. So one snap, and they will celebrate in Kansas City with their 6th straight win over the San Diego Chargers. That'll do it. San Diego out of timeouts, and they will count it down inside of 20 seconds. So the Chiefs will go to 5-4. Now, what a valiant day it was, especially in the second half for Stan Humphreys. You can see the tears starting to roll down his eyes, down his cheeks. He led his team to 2 drives in the second half, one of 80 yards, one of 90 yards. He did just about everything, but it wasn't enough because they had very little offense for the ground game in the first half. And our play of the game, our Hager, wrinkle-free, cotton super play of the game, no doubt about it. The field goal for Nick Lowry, the game winner.
And what an appropriate time for him to make the play. That is the play of the game and the game winner. Just a super athlete, injured, but back strong.
He accounted for 9 of 16 points for Kansas City today as they win it by 2 over San Diego.